Hello and welcome to another stream with the BSL 11 Gosuleague round of 16 Group A. My name is MasterReY and with me here again, of course, the wonderful Snipe. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Looking forward to some great games. First game to the round of 16 here. We're going to find our first two players advancing to the round of 8 in Gosuleague today. So that's really exciting.
Yes, that is true. Uh, we saw some games in the round of 32 already. There were some very good games. There were some one-sided games, but now I think going into the round of 16, we will see only like the higher skilled players, and we have even better matches in this round.
No, that's right.
Okay, so let's take a small look at the group that we will watch today. Here we have the group. So we are casting Group A today. There we have the Bolivian race picking Protoss and Zerg, Dark. Then we also have the American Protoss Tim, the Czech Terran Phoebus, and the Mexican Zerg Deska. So let's take a look how they did in the previous round. So just to find out how they got there, did they just cruise through their group or did they barely manage to get in? Let's see. So we can see Phoebus here already with a solid 2-0 advancement in this group here. Then we have Tim here on the other hand, finishing up in second place, losing against LancerX. I mean, LancerX is a very good player, so I don't think we can we can say that he's a bad player because of a loss against LancerX. And yeah, then we have Deska. We saw that on this channel. We casted Deska's games. He had some pretty solid games against Redley, I remember. Yeah, managed to go in 2-1. Yeah, well, he lost one game against Redley, but then won the last game. So that was those games were pretty nice. And then Dark as another player going through his group 2-0. Here defeating Adele Scott and Darkish. So that is the group here. That are our players. Two players going 2-0, two players going 2-1. Yeah, we have a nice mix. What do you think, Snipe?
Yeah, it looks good. I feel like almost anyone could get out of this group. If I had to pick, I'd say maybe Dark gets out. I mean, he's first in the group here. I think that means he was the highest MMR, maybe. I know he's like S rank. He's quite strong. I've seen him or had our team played against him in BWCL before, so quite strong. Tim improved really quickly in the North American scene. Like he rose up to the high ranks very quickly. I've played Phoebus before a few times. I managed to take one game off him, but he usually beats me. And Deska as well, very solid. I mean, we saw his games last week, and I was pretty impressed. Like he came back from some tough spots, and he managed to advance too. So I feel like this is a very exciting group, and we got a good mix of races here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. We only have 3 Terrans left in the Gosuleague as well. So in this group we have one of them in Thebes. And Group B will have the remaining other 2 Terrans. So let's see if Thebes can pull through. I definitely played him in a lot of Clan War matches before. Like at least 3 or 4 Clan Wars against him already. I always match up against him for some reason. And I
Me too.
know that... you too, okay. Nice. Um, I can say that he plays a very aggressive vulture harassment style against
Yep,
Protoss. So that will be fun.
definitely true. Yeah, definitely true. That's how he usually gets me.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So that is our group, guys. I hope you're hyped. And with that, let's go into the first game. While StarCraft is getting prepared here, it takes a few more seconds.
So what's our first match then? It's going to be Dark against Deska. It's like one versus four and two versus three, right?
Not anymore. It's 1
Okay.
versus 2, so it's Dark versus
Okay.
Tim actually.
Okay. Interesting. This should be a pretty good match then. I might say Dark's slightly favored, but I think Tim could take it too. So it'll be a PVZ because I believe Dark will be playing Zerg against Protoss, and all these matches are best of 3 for the round of 16, I believe.
Exactly. Everything best of 3 from now on. Okay, game is open. Check if you can join. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
So game is loaded up.
All right.
And here we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, Dark versus Tim. The map is Overwatch. In the top left corner, we have our yellow Zerg. It is Dark.
All right, and in the bottom right, we have our red Terran, none other than BSL Tim. Now, Overwatch, I kind of like this map if it's going to go for super late game for Protoss, just because if you can get a map split situation, Protoss can trade so much more favorably. And there's like most of the bases, except for your natural, are high ground here. And of course, the mineral only is in the middle, but you can really, it's pretty easy to split if it gets to that late game situation. So we'll have to look out for that if something like that happens, right? But that doesn't mean it's going to be necessarily bad for Zerg. There's lots of things they can do before that, and probably will, to put a lot of pressure on Tim early on to try and end the game before it gets to that point.
Yeah, that is correct. We see Tim probably going for a gateway build here, not scouting with the probe, so that's usually an indication that he will put down a gateway and then scout afterwards. And of course, Dark is just scouting with an Overlord and going for a 10 hedge here. Interesting. I don't think I've seen this before.
Yeah, me either. This is actually kind of interesting. He did like the gas trick to get that extra drone, and then he's using that drone to build his hatchery before anything else. We'll have to see how this matches up against the gateway first. I know Zergs tend to like to go 11 hatch, especially if they have a good idea that the opponent is going to go gate expand like this. Maybe there's a slight optimization or just something Dark does that kind of balances between gate and forge expand. We'll have to see how it goes out. Pool just going down now, whereas the gateway's finishing. So Tim's going to be able to start getting zealots across the map here pretty shortly.
Ah, first drone already half HP lost here, but okay, using that for the gas. Yeah, this is a very low drone count, so if Tim can apply some pressure here with the zealots and force Dark to make some Zerglings, then the economy of Dark is in not a good state here. So I'm interested how this will go.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, first zealot's on its way across the map here now. Looks like Overlord's going to finish up, and he's going to have probably about 3 larvae here as soon as that pool finishes. So timing-wise, that should work out. And yeah, okay, he's going to make the 6 lings, so he should be fine, not take too much damage from the initial zealot anyway.
Yeah. Oh wow, and Zealot actually turning around here. So you can see the Zerglings. Those Zerglings are pretty early because it was a 9 pool after hedge basically. So he just turns around, joins up with the next Zealot, and maybe he will just wait here for the third one and then go.
I like that he's actually got the zealots up here. He doesn't want to show the Overlord that the zealots are back at his base. He's just like, oh, maybe make Zerg guess that the zealots are still out there a little bit. He moves back now that he's got the wall because he's going to need to plug those holes, knowing that these Zerglings are on the way. He doesn't want to take too much damage and then just die a quick death to these lings.
Yeah, and this is a super aggressive build here by Dark. No drones anymore after the Zerglings. Oh, Tim has to be careful. Oh, one Zealot getting caught here. This could be disastrous. We see the worker counts actually doubled for Tim here. So if Tim can survive this, he's in a very good position. But losing that one Zealot already, it will be hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of lings coming. He really needs to buy time for this cannon to finish. That another zealot goes down. These lings, I think, are going to get in, and if they get on top of that cannon, it's going to be very hard for Tim to fight back. And it looks like they are going to get on top of that cannon. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold here. He's got no zealots. He's got no cannons. Lings are still streaming across the map.
Yeah.
This is looking very bad. Yeah.
I think Tim didn't really caught on what was going on. He didn't really respect this super aggressive Lingolin. There was speed researching, but he didn't pull a lot of probes. He just had his 3 zealots, pulled like 2 more probes. He just had to survive this. If he pulls 10 probes and survives, he's still way ahead against this. Yeah. GG.
GG. Other thing he could have done is maybe gone for a couple more zealots before the Nexus. Like I believe he took it off of 2 zealots. If he had gone up to like 3 or 4 or something before the Nexus, he would have maybe had enough to hold on and buy himself enough time at least to get his cannon up and defend it.
Of course, it was very unfortunate that he lost that 1 zealot out of his 3 zealots. So that definitely helped Dark in this case.
Yeah. But maybe he can bring it back. Definitely not indicative of how this series will go. I know Tim's a pretty strong player, so I don't expect him to necessarily die quickly like that again and put up a better fight this game.
Yeah, and this game 2 of this first match, will be on Polypoid. And the game is already loaded, and we jump into it. So, in the top right corner of Polypoid, we have our winner of last game, the yellow Zerg. It is Dark.
All right, and in the top left, we have I believe that's pale blue color, excuse me, BSL Tim. All right, well, even if Tim loses this game, he won't be eliminated yet. It just means he goes down to the losers bracket, where he can still fight his way back. Meanwhile, if Dark wins this, of course, he goes on to the winners bracket for the chance to advance in first place.
Yeah, that's correct. And we see so far the same approach here by Tim. Of course, nothing special about that. But will we see the same build of Dark? I mean, it was a very aggressive build. It's something that usually only works once. So will he do it again?
Yeah, we'll have to see. So far, he hasn't done the gas strike. Looks like he's not. He already has the Overlord started. Yeah. So this is going to be a little bit different already. Meanwhile, Tim's going to just stick to what he's doing, and he's going to go ahead and do a gate expand again here. And there's the gateway. Meanwhile, the Overlord is going in the correct direction, so he will scout this right away. Oh, I like this. Tim's going to actually check for the Overlord, and he is going to see it, so he's going to know exactly where Dark is here.
Yeah. And what is Dark gonna do? He is just throwing down the hatchery now, the 12 hatch. And that means Tim can apply some pressure. That's first Zealot that will come out of the gateway. Should arrive before the links are out.
Yeah. Now we'll have to see how he wants to do this. Some pro houses will make like 1 Zealot and say, okay, you're going 12 hatch. So I'll go 1 Zealot and then I'll make my Nexus because I'm not in any risk. Whereas others are like, okay, you're going 12 hatch. I'm going to pump out a bunch of Zealots and keep putting on that pressure as much as I can. Looks like Tim's probably going for that extra pressure option as he does have a 2nd Zealot already queued up here.
Yeah, on this map you have nice positions to put your Zealot behind the minerals in the main base and the natural here. So that could influence the decision sometimes because, for example, on Eclipse, there's just no position like that. So it's very hard, at least not in the natural.
All right, looks like we had a gas steal here from Tim. I didn't see if he got that just before the drone tried to take it or if he just took it saying, okay, I know you want gas soon. But that's definitely going to slow Zerg down for any kind of teching he may want to do in a little bit here. But now we have the first Zealot coming in, and the Lings have just started now, so Tim may be able to get a couple of drones here, and this could be dangerous for Dark.
Yeah. Long time until these Zerglings get out. At least he's forcing the drones of Dark not to mine here already.
So far, some nice defense, as Zealot hasn't got any kills yet.
Ah, okay, but the drones are not mining for a long time here.
Probe goes down as well, but now we have 2 Zealots in here, and they're both behind the mineral lines.
Yeah.
Third Zealot is also coming across, so Dark's going to have to clean this up before we get too many Zealots.
Yeah, and I miss the remaining Zerglings. I mean, was Dark not respecting this enough?
Maybe. We'll have to see. There's now 3 Zealots in the base. This is getting very scary for Dark. He's really got to get kills on a couple of these Zealots if he wants to defend. Okay, first Zealot does go down now.
Oh, can he get another one? One hit? Okay, there we go. Gets it. So 2 drones, I believe. And also a lot of Zerglings killed and a lot of Zergling forced and a lot of mining time lost. So overall, I think this was a good attack for Tim.
Yeah, I would put this in a little bit in his favor. Now, that doesn't mean the game's over and Dark just loses now for sure. He can definitely come back, but I would definitely give the advantage here to Tim. And he's even got another Zealot. Let's see if he can get another drone kill here or something.
He's trying, but it doesn't work. The 5 Zerglings kill the Zealots. And now we see the third base for Dark.
Yeah. Meanwhile, looks like we have Cybercore just finishing up here for Tim, and there's no lair or anything being started yet for Dark or any additional tech. So yeah, he's definitely behind tech-wise. We're gonna have to see what he wants if he starts that lair right away here. If maybe he just wants to go for a Hydra Den. And as I say, that looks like he's gonna go and throw down that Hydra Den. So he wants to put on maybe some pressure here in a little bit with a bunch of Hydras.
Yeah, I mean, he won the first game by a very aggressive early attack, and maybe he thinks that it can work again, so he's choosing a different aggressive early attacks this time.
Yeah. Fourth hatch coming down now as well. So it looks like the plan here is he's just going to drone up a bit, get a couple of these macro hatches down and then just go with a bunch of Hydras and try and bust him. But Tim's pushing out with these 3 Zealots now. He just wants to force more Lings, more units, right? Like, he knows Dark's probably hurt a little bit economically and is going to be droning hard behind this. So by sending these Zealots out, he's going to be like, okay, I'm forcing you to defend these Zealots. You got to make more units or you got to make some static defense. And he even turns them around, not wanting to lose them, just trying to force those Lings. And it looks like Dark actually didn't commit to making any extra units here. So it didn't really work out for Tim the way he hoped.
I think he knew that he will have Hydras out in time. But one very interesting thing are these 2 Overlords. As a Protoss, if you see 2 Overlords in front of your natural not flying away, you're almost 100% sure it's a Hydra Bust incoming, because the Zerg needs those Overlords to make sure he has detection in case that the Protoss goes for fast Dark Templar, and he can also save them with the Hydras incoming. So the Protoss pretty much always knows its Hydra lists.
Yeah, and you can see Tim reacted to that by making a couple of cannons and pulling out these Zealots before he gets into critical numbers. He's just trying to kill the units, push these units back while his cannons finish up back at home, just to buy himself some time, make sure he can defend it. And I think he should be okay. You don't want to necessarily lose all these Zealots for free here. Yeah, he's going to pull them back now, but he is getting the Overlords, which is really key. If he could get all 3 of them, he could definitely defend this even with a Dark Templar.
Yeah. Yeah, with that, the Hydra Bus is... I mean, he is very far away from the DTs, but Dark doesn't know this, so Dark can't really stay here and can't do the push, so another super nice move here by Tim. He's in a very good position now.
Yeah, looks like he's going to be able to pick off at least one more Overlord here. Sees a couple more popping. So supply blocking the Zerg once again. Like, he's just getting further and further ahead by doing these kinds of moves. He got that little early advantage, and he's not letting go of it, right? Like, he's continuing to press his advantage and get further ahead where he can. Losing those Corsairs is a bit unfortunate for him, but it's not necessarily the end of the world here, because he already knows that Dark is not on lair tech yet at all.
No. And we see a lot of minerals in the bank. He is throwing down another hatchery now. So going up to 6 hatcheries, and yeah, still supply blocked because those Corsairs killed another Overlord here. So a long time of no production for Dark, and this is a very good situation for Tim. Tim, instead getting the Zealot speed here, will probably go and see what he can do with the Zealots once the speed finishes. Maybe can do some damage at the third base or maybe run into the main base or natural. So far there is no wall and there's also no sunken, no static defense. And I'm not sure if the number of Hydras are enough to defend like 12 speed Zealots.
Yeah, this could be dangerous for the Zerg player. He just had his lair finished up, so we'll have to see if he wants to throw down a Spire or if he's just going to use that to get some lurkers out. But he may not get to that point. There's a bunch of Zealots moving across the map now. The Overlord did see this, but is he going to have enough to defend? I'm not sure.
It will be close. I think he barely has enough, maybe.
Yeah, but he's still going to take some damage here. I mean, these Zealots have +1. They have speed just finished up on the way. And interestingly enough, he's actually getting armor, +1 armor. I can talk about that a little bit here in a bit as his next upgrade. But still looking to see what he can get down. Maybe a nice little attack here, killing a few Hydras. I hear a DT. Where's the DT? Oh, DT blocking the ramp, killing a couple Hydras there as well. Nice little move. It allows his Zealots to get out of here anyways.
Yeah, so the attack killed some Hydras. Not the biggest damage done here by Tim, but just pressuring Dark like this, forcing some lost mining time again, is good. But if I look at the work account here, Dark caught up very well here, and yeah, he is getting back into the game here.
Yeah. So meanwhile, as I was saying, Tim is getting +1 armor here, and that's gonna finish up here soon. That's actually better against Hydralisks. It's a fairly new thing that has been found out in the pro scene kind of last few months, where sometimes Protosses will get this armor or even go +2 armor after +1. It helps against really helps against Hydra heavy armies for the Zealots, but it can also help against Muta snipes on High Templars. So I'm really interested to see if Tim wants to go for that +2 armor after +1 or not. But meanwhile, we do have a bunch of Hydras streaming across the map, and I don't think he got the Lurker upgrade yet, so I'm not sure what the lair was for, if it was just for Overlord speed, I guess, and nothing else at the moment.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And we have a lot of storms here. Some High Templars even having 2 storms, so plenty of storms to blanket those Hydras here.
Oh, nice couple of storms going down here right away already.
Yeah, very nice storms. Except this last one, maybe, but
that's right. You can't hit them all, right? But it's unfortunate that Archon is going to go down there. But Tim is on 1-1 now, and okay, he's going to start the +2 attack upgrade at the Forge just now.
Yeah. What other upgrades for our Zerg player? We have 1-0 here with an Evolution Chamber idling. So it looks like Dark is a little bit on a timer here. With a 2 upgrade disadvantage, it's not an easy game to play. So he really has to do something very soon, I think.
Yeah, looks like he's going to try for maybe a bit of a sandwich here on the main army of Tim. And he is going to be fighting from the high ground. He does pick off a couple of Templar. This could maybe go good for him here. But he's pulling away some of the Hydras. Tim looks like he's going to be able to push those Hydras back for now. And wants to take his 3rd expansion, it looks like.
Yep. Yeah, of course, these minerals are getting low in the main base. A little bit low in the natural as well. So he needs that 3rd base at some point. But here we have another fight. Only one more storm here. But that storm is very good.
Yep. Only Dragoons left, but Dragoons are fine. Are pretty fine against Hydras here in decent numbers. We do have another Templar coming up with a storm, but I don't think he needs it with only 2 Hydras left.
And the probe ready for the Mana Nexus. Let's see.
Looks like my games is usually a probe with the army. But yeah, we got some Zealot reinforcements coming in. Definitely want those to kind of buffer for these Dragoons against the Lings and Hydras. Another storm going down. It looks like the Zealots are just going to run into the natural here while the Goons fight the main army. Okay, he's going to pull in the Zealots now. That's good. And is Dark going to be able to defend all this? It's going to be close.
I don't think he will. The goons were fighting from the high ground,
No.
Hydras were fighting on the low ground, so this was a very good fight for Tim, and there's a GG for Dark.
All right, so we got a game 3 here. Tim brings it back after that first game. Quick first game.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation. So Dark winning his game with a super early rush, and Tim winning the more normal game. So I'm really interested to see if Dark wants to go for some speedling attacks again.
Yeah, from what I know about him, he definitely seems. I think he's more of an aggressive or a cheesy kind of style player. I don't necessarily want to say cheesy, but more aggressive player. Like he's going to do the aggressive strategies more often than not. So it'll be up to Tim if he can maybe defend that and get into a macro game where maybe he can take the game right.
Yeah. Okay, and our third game will be on Blade Runner. Blade Runner, kind of a new map here. But first, let's introduce our players as the game is loaded. So in the bottom right of Blade Runner is again our yellow Zerg Dark.
All right. And in the bottom left is the teal Protoss Tim. Teal Tim. Now, Dark actually was sending his Overlord in the correct direction, or the direction that he would scout Tim first, but decided to change that up. So now he's going to not scout Tim right away with that first Overlord. I don't know if that's I don't know the map kind of thing. It could be because I don't know the map very well myself. I've only played a couple of games here. But it's definitely an interesting map. It's got some different features. It's kind of got that forest. If you guys, anyone remembers Whiteout, where it had that dark forested area where you can only see it with air units, or you have very limited vision with any ground units. This map actually has some of that around it. Like you can see where the Overlord's flying right now, that little patch in there, that's part of that. So any ground units in there will have very little vision without air support.
Yes, and there's a way bigger area like this in the middle of the map.
Yeah. And then there's also kind of like two chokes almost to your bases. Like you have your natural here where we can see like Tim throwing down his gateway and everything. But where that probe's going, there's another little choke area. And just to the right of that, there's like a mineral only base, and then there's like a high ground base that you can also take behind that. It's an interesting kind of weird map. Um, I don't know if there was like a veto process. I assume there is for this. So both these players seem like they're okay or comfortable playing on this map.
I think at least in the Gosuleague, the format is that the winner can ban one map, and then the loser picks from the remaining maps. But being in the third game, I'm not sure if there's any other map left. I think this was the last map that could be picked because two others were already banned in the before the two games beforehand, I think.
Okay, interesting. But Tim's going to get that scout off. He was checking for the Overlord again, didn't see it, so now he's going to go ahead and scout. He's going to see, okay, this is hatch first, sees the pool, sees the timing of the gas. He's like, okay, this looks like it's going to be some kind of a two hatch build. So, like we were saying, maybe something a little more aggressive coming out from Dark. Remains to be seen if he wants to go for something like quick drops or quick lurkers, quick mutas, some kind of lurker drops, anything like that are all possibilities that Tim's going to be thinking about here.
Yeah, and he will definitely take it a bit more seriously, I would assume, because he did die to a fast gas build in the first game, so he will probably make sure that he gets this cannon up very early. Yeah, he even putting up the forge before the Nexus, even another pylon before the Nexus, so he's really taking this super seriously, getting a third zealot here, getting the cannon, everything before the Nexus.
Yeah, I feel like he's almost playing it maybe too safe, but at the same time, he's like, I know I lost that first game to something really aggressive. I just want to be extra safe here. Make sure I don't die because I think I can take him in a macro game, right? Because he won that macro game. He looked pretty dominant doing it, but had the early advantage and never really let go. So this game, he's kind of thinking, okay, I can probably afford to maybe take or play a little bit safer in the early game, and then so I can take this to a macro game and beat him there.
Yeah, maybe he thinks that he's a better player in a macro game, for sure. Okay, and now Dark just transitioning into a normal game, getting some drones here, getting the third base, so it looks like he's not fully committing this time. I mean, he's getting the Zergling speed already, but he's not producing more Zerglings this time. Yeah, in contrast to the first game.
Yeah, it's like part of that too. Is he scouted with these lings? He saw that the cannon was already there, done. Now Zergling speed is done, so Tim has to be a little bit careful here. Dark's going to pick off that probe. There's always a chance that Dark might try and run by as well, see if he can't pick off that cannon or get into the main. And actually, it looks like that is exactly what he's going to do here. Nope, he's going to turn around. He thinks better of it. He
Yeah, there
decides
was a
to not
chance
commit.
for sure.
I thought he was about to, but looks like no.
Okay, so 2 more Zerglings coming, but again, 2 more drones afterwards. So it really looks like he's not fully committing to Zerglings here, but he's getting the Hydrolyst then. So another nice way you can use speed Zerglings, if not aggressively, is denying scouting. So if you have the speed, you can always make sure that no probe or no zealots will actually get to your base and yeah, scout the Hydrolyst. So you can really surprise the Protoss with a Hydro Bust here.
Yeah, and that looks like exactly what he's doing. And interestingly enough, I saw him kill one of these generators. I don't know what that was about, if it's just like a misclick, or if he's just like, I'll kill one for fun or something, or if he actually had some plan in mind. Looks like he's going to actually go ahead and start killing the next one now. So he does want to get rid of these for some reason. I'm not sure what his plan is. Maybe just try and get some more space here for himself.
Or 3 misclicks in a row. I'm not sure.
Tim sees that he killed these now. He's got to be thinking or wondering, like, why did he kill those, right? Maybe it's part of that, like, why was he killing those? What is he planning, right? But he is sending these zealots across, so he can hopefully see one of these hedges. If he sees the Hydra, he'll know what's up. Okay, he does see the Hydra, so he should know what's up now.
Yeah, but I mean, the Zealot count for Tim is quite large at this point. 6 Zealots is not bad, so he has some time. He can delay the Hydras a bit. Okay, losing one here. But yeah, he will, I think he will get the cannons up. However, there's one cannon that was started pretty late. Yeah, but you can see the Zealot count. 8 Zealots here. Those will delay the Hydras for long enough.
Yeah, I think he should be fine. One thing I am noticing, he doesn't have a Citadel started just quite yet, so it's going to be a while before he has any leg speed to kind of fight back and push out. But he's got more than enough cannons. Like, look at this. He's actually throwing down even 6 cannons total here, where it looks like the Zerg has switched back into drones back at home, so he's not going to commit any more than he already has here.
Yes, so Tim is really playing this ultra safe, like from the beginning where he got all his like forge, extra zealots, extra pylon, extra cannon, all before the Nexus, and now he's getting everything before the Citadel and before starting his gas mining in the natural. He just started mining gas now, so he really wanted to make sure to get a ton of zealots out, a ton of cannons, and then transition to his tech.
Yeah. He had a Corsair flying across the map. Unfortunately, it flew over a group of Hydras and died, so he wasn't able to get into the main and confirm if a lair had been started for Dark or not, which is kind of a big deal. Like, he would really like to know if, okay, is he transitioning into like lurkers or Aspire or something, or is he going to stay on Hydras for a while? Like, if he had seen the main and the expansion, it's oh, there's no lair. Okay, he's probably going to be on Ling Hydra for quite a while here, and he can adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I would almost get a second Corsair here because there is a Overlord sitting over his base, so you can kill that for free. And then you really want to get that scout information of the main base to see the upgrades, to see the lair.
Oh no! Look at his gas. The gas mining at Tim at the natural. He's only got 2 on gas, and one of them comes out like the top side and then goes around. Okay, he
Yeah,
just
that
fixed it now, but still one is coming out the top.
yeah that should be a map bug because this pylon position at the bottom left of the simulator is very normal, and that should always be the
Yeah.
best position. So this seems to be like a bug on the map here.
Yeah, it's going to be affecting his gas mining maybe slightly, but now that he's got 3 on there. I mean, is there any delay? Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay between
Yeah.
probes there. So he's going to be getting slightly slower gas mining than he would maybe normally. Bit unfortunate, but all he could do was add one more probe on there to fix it. Meanwhile, we do have Zealots walking through that dark forest we talked about earlier, so they don't have a lot of vision. There's going to be a bit of an engage here, and Tim's got a lot of Zealots, but I don't think... Yeah, there's quite a few Hydras here, too. It looks like he's going to back up, not wanting to overcommit and lose those Zealots.
Yeah, against the small numbers of Hydralisks, you can certainly fight with nice upgraded speed zealots, but once the numbers grow a little bit too big, you should wait for Storm. And the Storm should be ready, almost, yeah, in a few seconds, Storm is ready. Okay.
Looks like the Hydras are going to dive on top of a couple of these cannons. Tim's got his Zealots kind of far out on the map. They're coming back now. No, he doesn't. Yeah, okay. I was like, he could maybe get a pin on here with the Storms, and the Zealots kind of blocking the retreat. But unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way. Now he's just going to continue to run away from these Hydras. Both players just getting their units completely in an unrelated part of the map at the moment.
Yeah, I found this attack to be a little bit weird. There were a lot of cannons. He killed one cannon and didn't accomplish anything else. And now he's trying to get into the natural here again. Some good storms, but also killing some High Templars here.
Yeah, but now the Zealots are coming in from the back, kind of getting a little bit of a trap on some of these Hydras, but they are able to escape towards that mineral only, back up through the 4th base, and should be able to get home without losing too many more here.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the choice here for Dark? It looks like he still wants to stay on Mass Hydralisk, no Lurker upgrade. He is getting a 4th base, so he just wants to have a big army of Hydralisks and then grow on the map with that.
Yep. Meanwhile, on Tim's side, it looks like he is going for that +1 armor once again, which will be finishing up here shortly. But the Hydras are coming in. It looks like they're going to get another couple of Templar snipes, at least one here going down.
I only see a single no, not a single storm. Not a single storm right now. So this is dangerous for Tim. Yes, even if you win this fight, even if you barely win this fight, this is never a good trade. You never want to fight that many Hydras without storm. Doesn't matter how many zealots you have. It's never worth it.
Yeah, even if, like you said, even if you killed all those Hydras, it's going to be harder for you to replenish those Zealots than it would be for Dark to replenish those Hydras.
Yeah.
Storm goes down, maybe only hitting a couple of Hydras there, but it does keep Dark back for now. Meanwhile, it looks like Tim's maybe going to clear out a couple of Overlords. Oh no, Hydras are going to come in and snipe a couple more Templar. Oh, I got to say, Dark's been really on top of sniping these High Templar this game.
Yeah, and now you can really see this fight really hurt Tim here. He's almost same supply, he's same worker count, and he doesn't have a 3rd base up yet, so... And he doesn't have a single storm right now, so... I think he's on the brink of dying here.
Yeah, he might be. Like, he wants to take that 3rd base, he's got a probe there, but he's got to be able to defend and hold off these Hydras first. There is a High Templar, Storm's just about out, almost enough energy, but he's losing his whole army here before that.
Yeah, and I mean now, at this point, Dark is ahead in workers, Dark is ahead in supply. There's still no 3rd base for Tim. If Dark doesn't make a huge blunder here, I think this game is in his bag, to be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Tim to get back. I mean, we got 4 bases now for Dark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hatches. He's on more hatches, or the same number of hatches as Tim has gateways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which, I mean, is not necessarily a great look here for Tim.
Yeah.
He's going to go out and try and storm a group of Hydras, but he only gets 2 there for his trouble. And now he's got no storms available. He does have a shuttle, so maybe he can try some harass to try and get back in the game. Like if he could kill all the drones or something at Dark and force him to make drones instead of Hydras, maybe that's one way he can try and fight back in this game. But he's going to need that 3rd base sooner than later, as his main is drying up here.
Yeah, and Tim is trying to do what you said, so he's loading up the shuttle with a High Templar and a Dark Templar, but sadly he will fly across this Overlord here at the bottom, so I'm not sure how successful this will be. Thinking about flying another pass, but then Dark already saw me anyways. So
Yep.
can he still do
And
some damage or not?
yeah, Hydras did get moved into position there. He unloads that Dark Templar to try and distract those Hydras at least. We'll see if he gets any drones. I mean, Dark knows this is coming, so he should be able to pull in plenty of time here. Yeah, only getting one drone.
One drone.
Bit unfortunate there for him. He needed a bunch more if he wants to fight back. Like drones ahead, or sorry, Dark's ahead in drone count. Uh, Supplies are pretty much even here, and he's actually going to be able to pick off this shuttle now as well.
And now we have the move out. So this seems to be the last real chance for Tim here. Okay, one nice storm. I mean, he can probably win this fight. Oh, can he save this High Templar? Yes, he can. Okay, so nice start of this fight, but the other Hydras are coming.
Nice save, nice little storm, but now we have, like you said, another group of Hydras coming. He can kind of flank this Protoss army. It's still a decent size. He may be able to fight back, but he's going to lose a lot of army in doing so. But what other choices does he have, really? Like, he needs to get another base. He needs to fight his way out here and get another base. Because this main base, like, even a couple patches have already dried up here now.
Yeah. He's still on 40 workers as well. I mean, yeah, as you said, his main is getting mined out, so he really needs to get this next sub in the next minute or so. Otherwise, he will just be outmined.
Yeah. Well, he put a pylon down, so he is going to try and take that. He has a decent-sized force here that's mostly Zealots. Critically, though, there's no High Templar. There are a few Dragoons, but he can't really afford to make these High Templar either. He doesn't have a lot of gas. He doesn't have a lot of anything going for him at the moment, to be honest.
He's making so many goons right now, and not making High Templars instead, so that's quite interesting. So maybe he just wants to win with a big gateway army without storms. You can do that if you have way superior upgrades, but I don't think he's in a position to do that. He needs some nice storms, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of the upgrades, looking at the Protoss upgrades, he actually did go for the +2 armor first this game, which is nice to see. Definitely helps against the Hydra army here. But I don't think it's going to be enough still. Like, Dark is just so far ahead now. You can see he's like 20 supply up. He's ahead in workers. And he's making just enough Hydras that just he keeps holding Tim back and never letting Tim's army get to that critical mass, you know, that you want to see from Protoss. Not like that big death ball, as it were. We do have a few High Templars out here, though. We're still waiting for energy for Storm, though.
Yeah, so finally he's accumulating a nice number of High Templars, and I mean, if the army grows bigger and bigger and you have more storms and you have a nice goon army, a Protoss army is very strong against pure Hydras, like very strong. But I'm just not sure if he's maybe too far behind in this game.
Well, his Nexus is about to finish. Like, if he can get this Nexus up and defend it and start mining from it, he can definitely try and find a way to fight back into this game. But there is a big group of Hydras coming in. Where's his army? He's got a few Hydras at top. Some of his army's there. I mean, if Dark is able to deny this base or kill this Nexus, that's lights out for Tim for sure. If he can hold on to it, maybe he can find a way to fight back in this game, because his main is mined out right now.
And there's another huge group of Hydras coming, and I think this could kill the third base. Is there another storm? No, there's not. Sadly, no other storm, so I think these Hydras could seal the deal here.
Yeah, he's got that High Templar, but Storm is not ready. He's got a few more High Templar coming across, but unfortunately they don't have Storm either. And as you said, I think this is just enough Hydras that he's going to be able to power through and kill the third, and with that, kill Tim's chances in this game. And there it is. GG is called. Dark takes it down, 2-1.
Yeah, GG. I just now realized that the score was not updated. But yeah, it's of course a 2-1 for Dark here. So Dark moves on to the winner's match. Tim still has another shot to go out of this group through the loser's match here. And we'll find out who the opponents of those players are in the next match. So let's take a look at the group again. So we just saw Dark defeating Tim, and now it's a TVZ between Phoebus and Deskar to find out who plays against Dark in this winner's match and against Tim in this loser's match.
All right, this should be Interesting match. We did see a lot of Deska's ZVTs. He looked pretty good in ZVT last
Mhm.
week. Now, I don't know as much about Thebus's play in TVZ. If he plays it anything like he does TVB, I imagine we'll see a very aggressive game because I do believe Deska played pretty aggressively as well. So this could be like a quick series or, the battle of aggressive players here or something. So
Yeah, it could be. But we also saw Deska playing a nice macro game in the second game against Reina.
that is true.
So I'm preparing the overlay and then we start into the game. Okay. We are ready. The game is started and the map is Overwatch. And here we go in the top left corner of Overwatch. We have our blue Terran Phoebus.
All right, and in the bottom right, we have our yellow Zerg Deska. So, Overwatch, what do you think about this map for TVZ?
I'm not quite sure. I know that I don't like the map in PvT because the Terran has a very easy time at camping and splitting the map. That's usually not something that happens in TvZ. Yeah, but the expansions on this map are all on the high ground with only small ramps, except the ones at 3 and 9 o'clock have 2 ramps, which are slightly bigger, but still all on high ground and all pretty small maps. So this usually favors the Zerg, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm interested to see how Thieves opens here. Like, I'm pretty sure this is more of like a mech favored map, although in general, mech is like stronger when you can get a lot of bases to power and supply and keep the resources going for your mech, whereas bio is a lot cheaper. So Terran can stay on like very few bases for a long time. But because he's gonna build a wall here, this does kind of lead me to believe that he wants to go at least for some kind of a tech build. But we'll see. Like, we're gonna look for that gas, see if he takes that gas here momentarily, or not.
I think I see a lot of walls when the Terran actually wants to go for mech, so yeah, I think that's also what we could see here.
Well, no gas as of yet, and we're at 13 supplies, so this does look like he's probably just gonna go ahead and expand behind this wall and get some Marines to defend it.
Yep. Meanwhile, Deska going for a one hedge right now, one hedge built, and weirdly mining with one drone in gas. So this is kind of interesting.
Yeah, is this just, I mean, I guess it's gonna be for speed, but he doesn't want to throw all the drones there so he can get his hatchery down quicker.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, we got 3 lings coming across the map, but as we know, full wall off, completely fine, and first Marine pops out. Okay, now we are seeing that gas coming out of Thebes, actually. So this is going to be some kind of a tech build, after all. Just got it maybe a little bit later than you might normally see it.
Yeah. So what are those 100 or 150 gas already going into? Okay, there's a lair. So probably fast Mutalist build, I assume. He's still mining
Uh,
with gas, with 2 drones and gas.
yeah, that's a very fast layer. Now it could even be lurkers. I think I've seen or heard that you can go for some kind of like lurker busts can be good against like a Terran who walls off like this.
Yeah.
To at least break that down. So we'll have to see what he wants to go for. Meanwhile, it does pick off that SCV, so going to make Thebes a little bit in the dark, but he is aware that this is a super fast layer, so I don't think he'll be caught too far off guard, but he is going to have to figure out what this layer is for. And as we can see, that Hydralisk Den is coming down, so it is probably going to be some kind of fast lurker bust or lurker drops. Meanwhile, look at this. On the right of the map here, we have a proxy factory coming out from Thebes.
Yep. I was waiting for that one SCV standing in the perfect factory position in his main base, waiting for to build the factory, but then he just doesn't do it and makes it as a proxy. Interesting.
Hey, battle of aggressive players. Like we said, we got Proxy Factory against a very fast 2-hatch lurker. Now, is this a little bit of a mind game coming up from Thebes here? He's continuing to produce Marines, and he's showing Deska that. Like, Deska sees, okay, there's 4 Marines there. He's continuing to produce Marines. So Deska might think that this is a bio build instead of any kind of factory or tech build, because he never saw that Thebes got that gas, I believe.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, in theory, Hydralisk should be fine at dealing with vultures, but Deska will probably not make a lot of Hydralisks. He will just make like 2 or 3 of them and run them over the map to build some lurkers. And then I can see the vulture doing a lot of damage in his main base or natural.
And now Thebes scouts this, so he should know exactly what's up. He's like, okay, this is fast lurker. So I think he'll be fine. Now we got the first vulture coming in. Okay, I was hoping he wasn't going to send that and wait for those hydras at least to get across the map before he goes in. Now this could be a lot of damage. Like if Deska only makes a few hydras here and a couple of vultures slip in behind, he's going to be able to kill a lot of drones.
Yeah, and Deska also researching the Ventral Sex here. So he wants to go for a drop. He has an Overlord in position on the right of the main base, and he has another Overlord below the natural. So he definitely wants to do that, but hold that thought. Cebus is moving in. No drones in the natural, actually.
Yeah, they got pulled instantly once that hydra started fighting the vultures on the ramp.
Yeah.
Because he just needed to buy time. Looks like he's going to try and drill these vultures, but vulture speed? What? Does he have... There's no way he can have vulture speed. Okay.
Nope.
I'm just crazy. But he is going to pick off a couple of drones. He gets a Hydralisk. He's forcing drone pulls, if nothing else. He's going to get a couple more drones here. Like, Deska is going to eventually be able to clean these up, but at what cost? How much damage? Meanwhile, the lurkers are going to town actually at the front here of Thebes base.
Yeah, but will they really accomplish a lot? I mean, he can probably kill 1 or 2 depots here. Maybe. Getting repaired so far. But those vultures really paid off already, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. It looks like he isn't building anything else out of that factory now and isn't lifting it, so I wonder if he's going to just leave it there or just say, okay, I'm done with this. One thing he could do is maybe put like an add-on and go for some tanks to help bust the front later, but he is going to actually start producing a couple more vultures, maybe see if he can pick up a couple more drones. Meanwhile, he's pretty much defended these lurkers, like he's perfectly fine. Now, if I remember, we did see a lot of lurker drops from Deska, and okay, in saying that, he actually does drop the first lurker here in Thebes base. And is he going to be ready to defend this?
There is a reaction here. We have the first vessel out and we have some marines, but this lurker's already shooting. But yeah, only one lurker, I think. Yeah, it's very easy to clear that one. And sadly, no other lurker in the natural at the same time or anything like that. So only a single lurker is usually not doing too much damage if the reaction of the Terran is there.
Maybe a bit of Mr. Alley. We got 3 drones walking back across the map. But now Deska does see, realizes there was the proxy factory and finds it. Just gonna push that out of there. Killing that vulture that came out as well before it can do any real damage.
Okay, so we were up to a very aggressive early game. In the end, yeah, we saw some damage being done, but nothing too crazy. Both players are definitely still alive here and well going into the mid game here.
Meanwhile, Thebes is just gonna push that lurker out of there. Almost kills it. Gets away with like 6 health there. So nice little save there for Deska. Can potentially use that later. Meanwhile, where's the plan now? It looks like we're just gonna stay on 2 racks for now. Okay, he's got that 3rd racks floating in. So he's gonna maybe just go for a bio or an SK style here with vessels and marines and medics.
Yeah, and Deska is researching his Hydralisk upgrade, so will we see a Hydra Lurker army? Meanwhile, he's getting another evolution chamber. He's also researching the ranged attacks, so It looks like he wants to go for more Hydras as well.
Yeah, this could be some kind of Hydra Lurker composition, and I think we did see him kind of do some of that too last week.
Yeah.
So I'm not completely surprised by this, although it is a bit more of an unorthodox way to play. But there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're one of those players who doesn't face it a lot, or you're just used to playing mostly standard. It's something that can definitely throw you off. We'll have to see if Thebes can pick up on this and react properly. He is moving across here with a group of bio. Is there going to be enough? Like, this doesn't seem like a very big army, but at the same time, Deska doesn't seem to have a lot either.
Oh, passing by this hurt lurker. What I really like for Cebus is his super early vessels. So he already has 3 irradiates here, and Deska doesn't even have a spire, remember. He has no way to kill these vessels apart from speed hydras, but this is a very nice attack by Thebes.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably just going to be able to take this base down. There's not really anything for Deska to deal with that. And in taking this base down, he's going to be putting himself in a really great position, being 2 base against 2 base of the Zerg.
Yeah, another nice irradiate here on that last lurker. And what is left for Deska? There are only like 6 Hydrolis and 1 lurker. 1 additional lurker to the left here. Oh, will Thebes find this?
He's so close, yeah. Looks like he's just barely going to miss that. Oh, that's so unfortunate for him there. It's almost like he was looking for it, but just misses it. So we are going to have a lurker drop here at the natural. There are a couple of turrets, but still a lot of damage can be done if he doesn't pull those SCVs quickly.
There is also a bunker here with marines inside, so I'm not sure how much damage that can do. And meanwhile, Thebes is doing a lot of damage, killing the 3rd base attempt another time. And I think he could even push into the natural here with those additional marines that are coming.
Yeah, he's starting to get quite a scary force. He's only got a couple of medics, but here the lurkers are being dropped out now. First one's dropped at the natural. Looks like it's going to be cleaned up very easily, and that Overlord goes down as well, so no damage really whatsoever from that lurker drop.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we do have a couple of groups of Marines here that looks like they're going to join up here shortly. I would like to see maybe a couple more medics in with this. Okay, as I say, that 3 medics pop out from the barracks. And even a tank, so he's really going to just try and siege up and push the Zerg back, and I think this is probably going to work. Like, Deska's just taken so much damage. The irradiates are going down. Like, Thebes has done a really good job of identifying what Deska's plan was and countering it.
I really like the super early vessels. They are doing so much work here, killing basically every single lurker here.
Yeah, and Deska's already limited on his gas and his income here, being on the 2 base. And he's got a few lurkers morphing here at the natural, but how are they going to stop this, especially with a tank here? The tank will be able to outrange that and slowly just destroy him. Like, there's no hive. Queen's Nest is about to finish, but it's going to be a long time before you can even get any kind of defilers out to stop this. I think this is it. Like, how is Deska going to defend?
I don't think he can defend this. I mean, there's no siege, but it looks like he can still just overrun this Zerg natural here anyways. He's not even microing that well. Some units are dying to the sunken here, some are killing the hatchery. So, I mean, he could definitely micro it a little bit better and actually win the game at this point. He barely didn't manage to kill Deska, but I think he's still in such a big advantage. Limiting the Zerg to 2 bases is basically a winning move for the Terran anyways.
Yeah, and he's got another couple control groups of units here that he's starting to send across the map. The Zerg does pick off. Okay, he almost got all those vessels. There is still 1 vessel. If he get that last vessel, that'd be a nice little pick off for him. But I still don't think it would be enough. He looks like maybe he's going to get that last vessel. Yes. But even just with scans and another vessel popping out right now, I'm sure Thebes can seal the deal here.
Yes. Now he has 2 tanks. It's a siege mode. Okay, siege mode is finally here. And with that, the GG is also here by Deska. And Thebes wins the first game.
Alright.
Finishing the game at 1337.
I'm glad you noticed that. I saw that too. I was gonna point it out. Nice. Maybe that's a good sign that he's gonna make it out of the group.
That's why he didn't really micro that well in this
Yeah,
first attack there with the first tank.
exactly. He wanted to end it right at 1337. All right.
Okay, the second game will be on Polypoid. I will do a quick check. Ah yeah, we have the event on Team Liquid finally. So setting that up. Okay, perfect. So guys, yeah, the event was sadly not available on Team Liquid, but now it is. So I hope we can get even more viewers in here. And during this time, the game is loaded and we are ready to jump in here. Let's go. On Polypoid, in the top right, we have our dark blue Zerg Deska.
All right, and in the bottom left, we have our pale green Terran, Thebus. Now, Polypoid, definitely a bigger map, 4-player map, so this could definitely favor, maybe a longer game, especially in cross positions where the rush distance is a little bit longer. That said, we've seen both these players before, and we know both these players like to play more aggressive styles, and more aggressive styles definitely have the chance to end the game earlier for either side. Like maybe you do something aggressive, it doesn't work out, and you just lose, or it does work out and you can win. But both being aggressive players, I'm sure they both can adjust well to that as well. So I'm interested to see how this goes. Like, is Deska going to try something similar with his quick gas, quick lurker drops? It didn't really work out for him last game.
We have some inside information of one of Thebus's clanmates here, Itsu, saying that Deska is a very laggy player and almost always on extra high turn rate 8. So this could be a reason why he barely or almost never goes Mutalisk and prefers the Hydrolisk and Lurker play.
Okay. And against that too, you'd say normally mech might be stronger than a bio, but we did see kind of a bio play from Thebus, though he did go for that mech uh, proxy and a couple of tanks and mixed in there. So we'll have to see what he opts to go for this time. Looks like he's just going to throw down that barracks. No gas taken yet, so we're probably just going to see a standard fast expansion here coming out from him. Although it looks like Deska is going to stick with those early lings once again. One drone mining gas. Seems to be like the thing he likes to do here. So Thebus is definitely going to have to make a few Marines and get his second depot done there before he goes for that command center on the low ground.
Okay, yeah, pulling some SCVs. And yeah, I mean, he's taking this seriously. Oh, even getting a second barracks, so he was kind of high on the minerals, so I assume that he wanted to take the command center on one barracks initially, but then his SCV scouted the links already on the map, so he just adds another barracks instead of a command center, and now even a gas. So it looks like Seabass really adjusting his build here.
Yeah, definitely. Not wanting to die to this early ling pressure, and he looks like he's going to be able to get that SCV into the base and kind of confirm what's going on. We'll see that the hatchery is about like halfway done there at the natural. See no lair or anything started just yet. We saw it super early lair last game. But he will see that the gas is being mined and probably expect that a lair will be started shortly.
Yes, and it should start now. We are already over 100 gas, and there it is. Okay, Academy going up for Thebes here, so he will probably go for a little move out once the medics are here.
Yeah, maybe try and push the Zerg back, force some Sunkens or force some extra lings, because he knows that Deska's going to be on a weaker economy than normal by going for these early lings and going for a later second hatchery. He does see that there's quite a few lings coming out, so he's just going to camp his ramp for now and just going to be fine doing so until he's got those medics and feels safe pushing down and maybe pushing the Zerg back and hoping to force some more Lings or Sunkens. But it doesn't look like he really needs to force it because Deska's actually doing that to himself and making a bunch of Lings here.
Yeah, he is switching back to drones now, so this is quite a big amount of Marines. He's probably expecting Thebes to leave his base, and that is the case here, and he wants to catch those Marines. Here we go.
Oh no, yeah, it looks like he will catch these Marines and kill most of them, if not all of them here. It's a bit of a mistake there for Thebes. I think if he had waited for those medics, like you said, he would have been able to kill those Lings no problem, and probably been able to march across the map and win the game, or at least do a lot of extra damage to Deska and really pull ahead. But now we have these Lings in the base killing some SCVs, and he's gonna have to pull some more to try and fight these Lings.
Yeah, this is a very bad position. He wanted to apply some pressure with his move out, but now he's on the brink of dying himself. So not only did he lose his Marines and some SCVs and some mining time, he also lost his opportunity to do some aggression.
Yeah, so nice little heads-up play by Deska to pick off those Marines before there were any medics there. I think Thebes is going to be fine now. He's got a couple medics. He's even got a couple of fire bats. But he's still going to have to be cautious pushing down the ramp before he goes. And like he's not even going to be able to take his command center here anytime soon. Realizing this, he's actually thrown down a factory and a third barracks. So he's going to play on this one base Terran style here for a while. And I think we saw someone do that last week against Deska's overly aggressive style, right? Like they stayed on one base for quite a while.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, and sometimes that's something you have to do if you lose your first Marine group and you can't really expand. And yeah, I mean, it can work if Deska isn't expecting this, isn't scouting this, but he has his overlord, so he can see that there's no command center started. So I'm sure he will probably sniff something out here and realize, okay, there will be a lot of units soon.
We did have scan go down from the. He did scan the main and saw the Hydralisk den and the lair, so he's like, okay, lurkers again, probably lurker drops. I mean, we've seen Deska really likes to go for that strategy, so Thebes probably expecting something similar. He is going to go ahead and throw that bunker down in front, just to prepare for those lurkers as well.
And the lurkers are morphing. We don't see any building here on the edge of the base here for Thebes, so he could be surprised by this.
Yeah.
Oh, the scout. Well, perfect scout here. The SCV sees the lurkers.
Oh no. So very heads up play there from Thebes. He does see the Overlord there as well, so he should expect or think that a drop's coming. And he is going to send, it looks like, most of his units back here to try and intercept this. And he's sending another group of units actually to the side to see if he can't pick those off before they get loaded to the Overlord here. I like this. He's kind of got them almost boxed in here.
I mean, they could still just run to the right, but I think Deska actually wants maybe Thebes to move into the lurkers with some units. Oh, but he's actually splitting the lurkers here. No.
Oh, it barely survives though.
Wow.
He does get away with that one lurker. Luckily for him. But yeah, where do we go from here? Looks like Deska's just going to go ahead and take a third base behind this and use that lurker to at least help defend it. Meanwhile, we still don't have a command center even started here for Thebes. Looks like he's got the SCV in position to start that soon. But he's got like all his tech going instead. He's got his first vessel coming out. He does have a dropship. It does, unfortunately for him, fly right past an Overlord. So Deska is going to be aware that this is coming.
Yeah, and Hive is already going up here. Second evolution chamber, so Deska really ramping up the tech now. And I mean, Thebes is still not making the command center. So he's getting the vessel again. He's also getting the machine shop. So he got the machine shop for the factory. So he will probably also go for a tank very soon.
Drop came out. He stemmed. A bunch of links around it. So he's like, okay, I got to just pick back up. He's going to drop out here, kill this Overlord at least. Get something for his troubles. But we do have a sunken now in the base for Deska, and he's morphing a couple of lurkers, so it looks like he's going to be able to defend this drop attempt. If Thebus knew about the bottom right, he could definitely drop there and at least take out that hatchery. But I don't think he knows. Maybe he found an angle here behind the minerals and can get some damage done.
There's one lurker. This lurker is key to defenses, and yeah, he will do so. So will he fly to the bottom right here? That's the question. Looks like it's not the case.
I'm just going to unload and maybe pick off another Overlord, which will supply block Deska. A little bit annoying for him, but not the end of the world. Meanwhile, we do have a command center being built. The transfer is a little bit early here. He's going to be mining like a couple loads here or something of minerals before that command center does finish off. But he will finally get that expansion up and running. And he has all his tech out. We got another vessel just popping now. And so he's going to start building up an army and maybe look to see if he can't pressure or break Deska somewhere else here.
Oh, shuttle flying into the main base here of Deska, but there are just always enough units. And I mean, he can actually scout the base at least.
Yeah, if nothing else, now he knows, okay, Hive's done, we got Defiler Mound out, so he should be expecting Defilers soon. And actually seeing this, he's kind of starting to push out on the map. Like, he doesn't want to get caught with his pants down and have Defilers at his natural before he's ready. A bunch of Marines running into a lurker here. A few of them going down for free, but it looks like he does notice in time. And we'll be able to finish at least picking off these lurkers or forcing them to unburrow and move.
Okay, so this bottom right expansion is still up here and not scouted by Thebus. This could really be very bad for Thebus if he doesn't scout very soon.
Yeah, from his point of view, Zerg's probably still on 2 bases. I haven't even, we haven't really seen him checking for a 3rd base. Now this dropship, okay, the dropship barely would see those lings. Okay, he saw the lings, he's going to check for the base now, and he does find it finally. The scouting dropship, nothing in it. One or two hits from death here, but uses it to scout. He is going to lose it to that Hydra probably. Yeah, there it goes.
There is only a single lurker here in the natural. At the Sunkens, there's another one in the back here, but if Thebus just stims on top of that, I mean, okay, just as I say that, the Defiler spawns and has enough energy.
Looks like we got a couple of Radiates going down, 1 on a Lurker, 2 on Defilers here. Gonna buy him a little bit of time though, because he got that Dark Swarm up. And there's 1 Lurker under there, so Terran can't really attack into that. Trying to stim to kill that OV, but it does get away.
So what's the right move?
Or does
it? I think he will get it. If he pays attention. Okay, he does not. He should go for some additional dropships. Yeah, here we go. Dropships on the way, because he has to pressure this base somehow. If he just stays here on 2 bases, doesn't do anything else, and yeah, lets the Zerg get his economy and stay on Defiler tech, that's pretty bad for the Terran.
Yeah, well, another Radiate going down, picking off another Defiler here. Every Defiler you can pick off is good. I would almost like to see him getting a 2nd starport, so he can start really pumping out vessels or dropships. Actually, it looks like he is, so that's good to see. Now, if he can keep Zerg just even on these 3 bases, contained on 3 bases, never let him get like a 4th gas, he can still fight pretty well on his 2 base, and eventually run the Zerg out while he expands himself some more.
Yes, I realized that he has a lot of SCVs on gas, so 5 in the main base and like 6 in the natural. So
that's interesting.
He
really wants that gas. I did notice earlier that one of those, he pulled an SCV that was carrying gas to build like a turret or something. So I guess he just probably pulled like an extra couple to replace that, or just quickly pulled a couple SCVs, threw it on gas just to replace it. But he's probably using his 200 APM elsewhere, doing other things. Not really too worried about having an extra SCV or 2. Now, interesting enough, in the bottom here, he's actually ferrying in a couple of groups of units. He might be able to get some damage done with this. There are a few medics here. Now there's 3 lurkers, but there's no defilers, so there's always a chance that Terran can get something done here.
And if those Marines just stim this one lurker down, he can definitely get into a nice position.
Oh, a couple of defilers pop up, but they don't have a Dark Swarm just yet. He needs to consume something if he wants to get a Dark Swarm off.
Oh.
Marines are going to pick off all of these Lings at least. Oh, and he drops them by the Nidus as well to stop any more reinforcements, so Zerg really needs to defend with what he's got right now.
Okay, very nice here. Yeah, very effective trade for Thebes. In the end, it doesn't look like he can do an actual damage against the economy or the base, but he killed a lot of units and he will continue to do so.
Picking off another lurker, might be able to get behind here and kill a couple of drones if nothing else. Alright, looks like meanwhile we have a group of Lings and some lurkers here out on the map. Maybe Vessel's gonna go down, kill a couple of Scourge. Deska may be looking to set up some kind of a trap or, I don't know, do some damage somewhere with this. There are some vultures and mines out now, which will definitely kill those Lings, but...
Yeah, nice trade here for Thebes. Another Irradiate.
Alright, looks like Zerg is finally going to go ahead and clean up what's left of the Bioforce in his expansion there. It's an interesting 4th base for Deska. He's actually taking the mineral-only base. I mean, normally as Zerg, you just want those gas bases mostly, so this is kind of an interesting choice. I mean, I know it's close, it may be easier to defend for him, but all it's going to allow him to do is get more hatches and Lings out, which again can still be useful, especially if there's going to be a bunch of mines, just send Lings to their deaths. Meanwhile, we do have Thebes also taking the 3rd base, which will be that mineral only.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where this game is going, to be honest, because it looks like both players can't really do a lot of damage against the other player, and both players are just very, very slowly growing here.
I thought maybe the Zerg was going to do a drop on the left side of the map here. He had 2 Overlords sitting there in a group of units, but it looks like he's actually just going to push down and try and push the front. Meanwhile, we do have a group moving across the map for Thebes, but there's no medics with that, so it's quite a bit weaker than it might otherwise be.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. No medics here. Yeah, and I mean, here's a Defiler and Lurkers can't really be broken. Oh, can he kill this army? A lot of Marines already died to that one Lurker. Vessels are also going down here.
Oh no, it looked like he was going to go for a racer. He irradiated one of his vessels and started sending it in towards the drones, but then it ran into a couple of Scourge, got picked off. If he wanted to go for the racer, he could do it now. There's no Scourge or any air units here left. Anything left to kill those vessels. I heard a lurker die. Okay, meanwhile, those lurkers did kind of come up here, but looks like Thebes is perfectly fine defending that and is starting to mine from that 3rd base now.
And it looks like Deska is transitioning into the Ultralist tech. He's getting all the upgrades, melee, carapace, ultra speed, and yeah, okay, Thebes obviously transitioning here to more mech, and his last force on the map dies here. So what is left for Thebes? He has a few vultures, he has a very small bio group. He's not even producing bio anymore, so he's actually not producing anything right now. Okay, it looks like he is still producing both mech and bio.
Yeah, there was a little drop that went down. It looks like at 12 o'clock, picking off the hatchery or at least the drone or something that was being started there. So keeping that Zerg back on 3 gases, very critical. You really don't want Zerg to be able to expand, take over the map. But now that he cleaned up the force of Thebes out on the map, he's able to take this other natural. throwing that hatchery down there now. Thebus is aware of this. He's going to try and push this location, see if he can't beat it, kill it before it gets set up, and really just kind of stop that growth of the Zerg.
There was a little plague, but only hitting, okay, the vessels and 2 vultures. But he lost like 2 defilers here and also a bunch of zerglings. So maybe with that vessel count, Phoebus could irradiate and deny this natural. This is a very important situation in this game, I feel, because if he can deny this, I think he will slowly maybe starve out Deska's gas here. But Deska has the Ultralisk ready now, so he can fight back.
Yeah, units gliding through that Nidus Canal there. Critically, like you were saying, if Deska is able to hold this base and get this base up and running, he is going to be on that 4 gas, and he's really going to be able to start pushing and fighting back, and it's going to be a little bit troublesome for Thebus. Let's look at the upgrades. His bio is only on 2-1. I don't know. His mech is still 0-0. So if he's going to go for like full-on mech transition or bio mech, he needs to keep those upgrades going. Looks like he is actually just starting +3 now for his Marines. So I imagine he is planning to stay on a good amount of Marines. So he's going to, it looks like he's going to stick on with this kind of bio mech unit composition with some vessels mixed in.
Now he lost his units, losing another vessel, so this attack of Thebes is definitely not worth it. And the base gets up for Deska, and I feel like slowly but surely Deska is getting ahead in this game. With all the tech being upgraded, there's always this point where the Zerg has all the upgrades and all the tech, and then he can use everything, every resource that he has only for unit production. And at that point, his supply shoots up and he can take over the game. That's what I witnessed in the last games of him as well. So maybe this is the last big attack of Thebes. Again, not a single medic with a huge bio army here.
Nice little plague going down, and yeah, the lack of medics here is kind of unfortunate. But this is still a pretty big, scary army. Like, if he can take out this base, that'll be a very big win for him. He really does need to take this base out for long term. Let's see. I think he will actually get it too. There's no defilers, not very many units here. And with this, maybe Thebes can bring this back and stamp out another couple bases.
Yeah, no defiler really hurt Deska here. And still with that fourth coming from top, also no defiler. The defiler is key. He can't have... I don't think he can win this fight without defilers here. He needs a defiler.
Interestingly enough, Thebes tried to push up there. He does kill one of the Sunkens, but obviously there's nothing really, or no medics to really keep those alive, so they die pretty quickly. A couple of lings being dropped on some of these tanks here, trying to kill them off. Doesn't quite get that one tank. One thing I am worried about, though, is the upgrades here. Still, like, 0-0 on these tanks. What is the Zerg at? Let's see. 2-3 on the Zerglings. So yeah, the Zerglings are just about fully upgraded. Zerglings and Ultras are just about fully upgraded, whereas these tanks have no upgrades whatsoever. So they're going to be quite a bit weaker. And even the Marines are like the upgrades are less on the Marines. So if Deska can get a good engage, he's definitely going to be able to fight, fight well with this Terran army.
I also realized there's not a single armory, so not even the possibility to go for Goliaths or so. So if we just see like a huge Mutilus switch, that could also work. But so far, Deska doesn't have the gas.
Yeah, Thebes has done a pretty good job of keeping the Zerg just on these 3 gases, and like Ultra Defiler is pretty expensive. He's been making a decent amount of Ultralisks, so that's been keeping his gas low. Like you can even see in the resources, right? He's got 3,000 minerals, but he's got no gas. Now he did manage to take the 3 o'clock base at this time. Like I don't know if Thebes knows about this, but if he can get that up and running and at least get that gas going, that'll definitely help him.
Oh wow, and Thebes slowly breaching this high ground base even. Some very nice trades with all those siege tanks. A lot of kills on those tanks here.
Yeah, there was a drop in his main base as well. Looks like Deska cleaned that up, but this is starting to look a little bit more desperate for Deska here. Like, Okay, now that he's got these Lings, I think he's finally going to clean up this army in the bottom, which is really what he needed to do. But at what cost? There's still a group of bio, but again, there's no medics with this. Okay, one medic now. Phoebus is just really lacking in his medics, it seems like, with these armies.
Okay, so can Deska finally get this fourth gas up? I mean, let's look at the gases. Main base depleted. Natural, pretty much depleted. And then there's only this third gas, so he's pretty much on one gas at this point.
And yeah, that third gas is it's only got one drone mining from it.
Yeah, that's a problem. So I mean, if he just gets a lot of hatcheries and makes like 100 Zerglings, I think he's still fine, but he's not doing that, so he really needs that gas.
Yeah, there's fights kind of going all over the map. He had some Lings here over at 9 o'clock, killed some SCVs, forced to pull. Looks like there's still one left there. In battle, looks like Deska did clean up that army that was pushing in there for Thebes, so he's going to be able to maybe set up that base. He is starting to mine gas now as well from that 3 o'clock base. So if Deska can get both of these gases mining, I'm getting worried for Thebes, and especially because, like we've mentioned a couple times now, his upgrades are still pretty low or lower than they should be at this point in the game. So Zerg definitely has an advantage there, and he's even taking 12 o'clock just finished up. So he's going to be able to, if he can keep even like 2 of those bases, he's going to be in such a great position. He's streaming a bunch of Lings in towards this base. Even if he shuts this down, he's going to be in a great position.
Yeah, it really looks like Deska is finally spending his minerals, getting a lot of Zerglings, killing a lot of stuff here, and also getting a lot of hatcheries. Can he save the 12 o'clock? It looks like he can. So yeah, with all of those extra gases, Deska is surely in a very good position, and still no armory for Thebes, so Thebes is producing like 70% mech, but they're on 0-0. We're literally seeing 0-0 against 3-2. This is not something that you can do for a very long time if you're not already ahead in a game.
Yeah, like sure, mech is strong on its own, but you still need to keep up with those upgrades. And I feel like that's almost the story of this game. Like Thebes seemed to be in a good position for a lot of this game, and he did a really good job of denying these bases, right? Like he stopped Zerg from ever getting a third or fourth gas for so long. That I think that if he had those upgrades and was able to pressure, he would have been able to like keep denying these bases, and eventually bleed the Zerg dry and run him over here. But now, because of this, Zerg is going to get a lot more gas, and I think Zerg is going to be able to fight back and push Thebes out of this game now.
Yes, with this last group killed at the top, and yeah, all the gas is up. Thebes doesn't even have a fourth on the map. He just has a small bio group moving here in the middle. But at this point, we can just look at the supply, at the worker count, at the base count. Everything is ahead for Deska at this point.
Yeah. Also, lack of medics at a few critical points, I think, really hurt him as well. Now we got some Lings killing a bunch of SCVs here. Oh no, the mine! Oh, blowing up a few SCVs as well, and we got Lings and Ultras flooding into the 9 o'clock base, and Thebes is just doing his best, struggling, trying to defend and hold these off. But even if he kills this army, Zerg is at that point now where he can just keep making units and flooding and throwing them across the map like he's 50 supply ahead of the Terran. I think this is just about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you see the streams of dark blue just across the minimap, and there's nothing Thebes can do at this point.
The power of the Zerg swarm, you can just see, even looking at the minimap, like you said, dark blue everywhere, all over, all corners of the map, streaming units across. It looks like he's gonna pick off this command center even at the mineral only, and there's the GG call. Deska takes game number 2 and forces another game 3.
Yeah, GG. That's a question, loser out or not. I will take this moment to show everyone the state of this group right now. So some players came in later. So this is the group that we're seeing today, Group A, and this is basically winners format, dual elimination group. So we have 2 matches, Dark against Tim. We already saw that with Dark taking it 2-1. And now we are seeing Phoebus versus Deska. And the winners will play each other, the losers will play each other, and then the winner of the winners match will advance, the loser of the losers match will drop out, and then we'll have one final match. So Dark is already in the winners match, and we are just finding out who will play him in that winners match. And the loser of this match we're just seeing, Phoebus versus Deska, will not be out, but play Tim in the losers match. So that's the state of this group right now. Okay, and we are preparing game 3 of Phoebus versus Deska.
So, as MasterReY was just explaining, the winner of this game will go on to face Dark in the winners match, where the loser will go and face Tim in the losers match.
Yes. So, remember every single match is a best of 3 as well. And that's why we are seeing game 3 now on, looks like Sylphid. We have not seen that today. In the 12 o'clock position on Sylphid, we have the Terran Phoebus.
All right, and in the bottom left, we have none other than the tan-colored Zerg, is Deska. Now, so far we've seen Deska do his, signature two-hatch lurker, kind of fast lurker drop both games. One game he got the lurker in, but he was very unsuccessful with winning that game, and Thebus was able to run him over. The game that Thebus did see it coming, did defend it, did push it away. He ended up losing in a log macro game. So does Deska do it again?
To be honest, I think we'll see him do it again because we also saw him doing it in the round of 32 against Redley. He just likes this lurker opening and especially the lurker drops, and it worked one game. That's enough for him to do it again, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. But we'll have to see. Maybe he'll throw a little curveball here. I believe he went for the fast pool and gas too. Looks like he's going for the Overlord here and a couple more drones. So if he is going to go for that lurker drop, he's going to be doing it maybe a little bit differently than normal. Okay, 11 pool.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if he takes that gas here right away.
Oh,
There's the gas. All right, so we're probably going to see very similar build from him again this game. Meanwhile, it looks like Thebus wants to go for some early tech build. He is getting that 12 gas here. So we're going to see some kind of tech, whether that be like something like a 111, fast mech, kind of Goliath build style, or if he wants to go something else like a 2-port Wraith, or even 2 factory. A bunch of options here open for him.
Yes.
Looks like he will scout Zerg first. Zerg's going to try and hide that drone.
Nice.
And he will be successful in doing that. So he will get his hatchery down on time.
SCV coming back to the natural to maybe block that, but seeing it's already started, so he just has to leave again.
Yep, looks like Thebus kind of expecting that. Banks had made a wall here in his main base, so he won't take too much damage from these quick sixlings coming out from Deska here.
I wonder what this SCV was doing, to be honest. He's going to the bottom right here. Maybe he planned to do like a proxy factory again, but the Overlord saw the SCV, so maybe he's not doing it now. But that was a very weird movement of the SCV going to the bottom of the map here.
Yeah, we actually have the Lings scouting for this now too. Look, the Lings are going towards the bottom of the map. Like, okay, I know you proxied that factory on Overwatch. Are you doing this again? And we got the Lings kind of checking, scouting for it. He's going to check a couple of bases. But it looks like the SCV isn't going to proxy anything. It's headed home now. And this Ling outside his base may see that and feel a little bit safer. Okay, no, he's going to turn it around. But it will pass an Overlord, so Deska will be aware that the SCV is out on the map and know approximately where it is.
Yeah, Deska doing a very good job scouting here, just sending units like Zerglings, Overlords everywhere. And yeah, searching for any hidden proxies. Thebes is not doing that. He's just going for 1-1-1. So one barracks, one factory, one starport on one base here. And Deska is going for his trademark Hydralist then, but not Lurker this time.
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, there's no lair started. Now, is this SCV going to see this? It looks like he
Ooh.
probably will. He will see the Hydra Den, and he does confirm that there is no lair as well. So he should know approximately what this is. Now, did Deska get wind that this was like some kind of a 1-1-1 build, or is he just? I mean, he's probably assuming it's likely to be mech or some kind of mech, or is he just wanting to play it safe? He's like, I'm going to get the Hydras out because I don't know what he's doing.
I don't think you are getting Hydras out that early to just play safe, to be honest. I think you just get sunken instead if
Yeah.
you want to play a normal game and play it safe. I think he actually wanted to go for a bust. He also had the Hydralist upgrade going. Yeah, he has it finished. So the range upgrade is finished. He's still getting the speed now, but he switched back to a little bit of drones. So I think he wanted to go for an aggressive push, but now stopped after the SCV scouted his build.
Yeah, that must be it. Like it's a little weird or confusing. I think we are gonna see maybe mass Hydra, early mass Hydra. Like you said, something like kind of similar vein of like a 3-hatch Hydra, just done differently. We do have a couple Hydras poking at this wall, and right now Thebes can't really do anything about it until that tank comes out. But we do have first Wraith out now, and it's flying across the map. See if it can't start picking off some drones or maybe pick off an Overlord. But there's like gonna be no Overlords to be found at the moment. Oh, as I say, that one pops out just as the Wraith gets there.
Oh, okay, that's an unusual reaction. Canceling an evolution chamber after the race flies in. So he wanted to go for double upgrades, it looks like, with 2 evolution chambers. But that was scouted once again, so he cancels that second evolution chamber. Or it was just a mistake that he didn't realize he already has one going up. So interesting. Immediately starting the lair afterwards.
Well, that Wraith barely not scouting the Overlord just above the Zerg base there, Zerg third base. So it has killed one. What just blew up? He must have killed his own depot there to get out a little easier. Or canceled something. I don't know. I heard something blow up. I didn't see what it was, but
Yeah, I think it was the depot.
yeah. But now he is out on the map. He's just going to push back these Hydras a little bit. Forcing some Sunkens here from Deska. We have siege mode done. Okay, it's just about to finish up. So it looks like he wants to maybe go for a push here with some tanks and some Marines. I would like to see a couple of medics with this.
Yeah.
Critically, we did see there was no medics at some crucial moments last game when he really could have used them. He is getting some medics here now. So this could actually be a little bit of a scary push here for Deska. If he doesn't start making a bunch of units and go for some kind of a surrounder, be prepared for this.
Yeah, but I mean, Deska saw this move out, and I think he will prepare. He's just getting the Hydralist right now, also getting the Lurk upgrade, so I think he's preparing. But this Overlord kill by the race, very nice. Will he get the race at least? Yes, he will.
All right. Well, he does get the supply block, but the Wraith does go down. I don't think we'll necessarily see him remake another Wraith. We'll probably just see him go into Science Vessels, maybe drop ship here shortly. Um, Meanwhile, he is going to go ahead and take his expansion. And it looks like he's going to throw down that eBay as well. He has confirmed, he did confirm the lair, right? I think he did.
Yeah, he saw it with the race. Deska cancelled his evolution chamber and then started the lair right away while the race was still in the base.
Okay, so he should know that Lurker, this is probably going to be some kind of Lurker Hydra again. Looks like we do
Yes.
have dropships started, so he wants to maybe go for some kind of drop in the main base, maybe pick off some drones or some tech.
Yeah, so interesting start of this game. It looked like both players wanted to go for something that they didn't do because they were scouted. At least Deska did twice. So now we're in this position where both players are just growing again, getting their expansions up, getting the upgrades. But Thebes moving out on the map. Is this army big enough or not? He's getting into a nice position here. Oh yeah, the
Dropship
dropship.
barely lives. 6 health.
Nope.
I'm just gonna pick it off before anything gets out. Okay. Bit unfortunate there for Thebes. That army would have been much better here at the front now. If he had that extra units at the front, like maybe he could even bust in here. There's still no lurkers out. He could break those sunkens and maybe bust part of the natural here. But as it stands, I mean, this is still scary. It's still dangerous. 3 tanks is nothing to laugh at, and there's a bunch of Marines, a couple of medics in here. So he's still gonna have to get a good flank if he wants to kill or take out this army.
Yeah, and he's preparing that flank, moving the Hydras in the middle of the map here, and I think when the lurkers are finishing, he will easily flank that army here.
Yeah. Tanks still shelling away here at those sunkens. So he's going to kill this defense. Oh, counter. Yeah,
there
this is interesting.
He could do it if he runs in. No, he's not. Okay.
Yeah, bunkers are pretty good against Hydras, especially if you get a few more SCVs repairing that. Now, looks like Thebes is going to move in here. Doesn't want to take too much damage from those lurker spines, though. Being forced to back up, does lose one of his tanks. I think with the reinforcing Hydras, especially, Deska is going to be able to clean this up, though.
Okay, and this puts Deska in the supply lead. Really, if we look at Thebes, there's not a lot going on here. 2 tanks, a few Marines, and Deska already has the 3rd gas up for... Okay, he's just started mining right now, but he has that 3rd base up at least for a long time. So I think Deska in a pretty good position here.
Yeah, it looks like Thebes is trying to zone out at least those lurkers and Hydras, right? He doesn't want them pushing in too deep if he can, or getting burrowed too close to his base. So he's just got his group of Marines here and Vestal out to try and pick off if anything, if Deska did try and move out. What is this drone going? It's drone in the middle of the map, maybe just a misrally or a misclick or something. I thought maybe he was going to try and take like a hidden base over at 3 o'clock or something there, but sending that back now towards his 3rd base, so probably just misrally.
Yeah, and meanwhile, and oh, 2 more drones getting rallied to the middle and dying this time, so he really has to fix his rally points. He is getting the Defiler mount already, so with 3 bases and Defilers almost up, Thebes has to find some damage, or at least deny a possible 4th or take a 3rd himself.
Yeah, he's kind of on like a little bit of a timer here before those Defilers get out, if he wants to get something done. See, looks like he's got another dropship loaded up, so he really wants to try. He likes those drops. He really wants to try and get in there. And there's not really a lot to defend this in the main base, so that this could be good if he can get that drop off in the main. Looks like he wants to maybe go for the 3rd, though, which could also be good because there's no units here other than 1 lurker being morphed in the corner.
Yeah, but there is that spore.
Spore. Oh no, he's going to fly right into the spore.
Okay, flies away, and now he finds the sweet spot behind the minerals. Okay, this is a very nice drop. Sunkens are not reaching. Oh, needs to be in hold position. Okay, nice. Hold position. Okay, can deny the mining, kill some drones, but this one worker.
Oh, the medics are running towards those sunkens. It looks like he's going to pick up a couple of the units. He's going to drop a Firebat and medic into the main, see if he can't kill a bunch of drones at the same time. Looks like he's going to not get anything done with that. Firebat gets picked off, and all he's got left is 1 medic and 1 Marine here. He does pick off the spore at least, but well defended by Deska.
Okay, and yeah, Thebes getting little traits here, but overall I think this army by Deska is very strong, especially with the Defiler. Dark Swarm comes in, lurkers are burrowing. Oh, only 1 so far. Okay, there's the 2nd one burrowing.
The 1 lurker survives. I was gonna say if he could have picked off that lurker, then all of a sudden the swarm could work in his favor, protect his marines from the hydralisks. But unfortunately, that those lurkers do stay alive, so he has to back out of that swarm there.
And Deska just clearing this army with ease, or at least the tanks. Still has 2 lurkers below the Dark Swarm, so yeah, pretty good hold, I would say. But Cebus is getting this third base, and that's a gas base as well. So this will be an important position on the map here, because once Deska scouts this, he will surely try to deny this base that is so close to his units and ready point.
Yeah. Critically, though, the supplies here are very even, and that usually spells trouble for Terran or Protoss when you're against a Zerg opponent here. If this goes on for too long, like Deska's going to be in a great position. Phoebus really needs to find somewhere to hurt the Zerg, cripple the Zerg a bit, but his army is getting split up here. Oh no, and I think Deska's going to be able to clean or wipe most of this army, if not all of it here.
Yeah, and kills everything. One group of the army still just sitting here.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Thebes.
At least getting a decent trade out of this last little fight, but of course he will probably lose those units anyways.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit worried for Thebes though. Like much like we said in the PVZ we saw earlier, Terran really needs to get that critical mass of units if they want to fight against Zerg efficiently. And every time that Zerg is resetting this army count of Thebes, it's just slowing his ability down to do this and buying Zerg a lot more time. We actually do see Zerg taking that 3 o'clock base now as kind of like a hidden expansion. But yeah, like every time that this army gets wiped before it hits any kind of critical mass, Zerg is just being able to pull a little bit further ahead, take another base, drone up harder, and it's just making it harder and harder for Thebes in this game.
Okay, we see another push in here. Okay, didn't expect the army of Thebes to be that far out, so he runs back. What I want to say is, I think Deska did not scout the third base of Thebes yet, but also Thebes is not really using it, so far it doesn't matter. But if Thebes can start mining here and Deska still doesn't expect this base being up here, that would be a very nice way to get into a better position in this game again for Thebes.
Thebes also taking that mineral only command center, just finishing up. But Deska's also taking his mineral only there, just above his base. We have like 2 bases here pretty close for the Zerg and the Terran, but neither of them know about it yet. Dark Swarm's going down, just going to push that Terran army back a little bit. And even just buying some ground is good for Deska. Like if he can push the Terran army back into his base, he can start threatening him and maybe doing some real damage.
Yeah, what else do we have? Oh, we have the third evolution chamber now for Deska. Yeah, let's take a look at the upgrades. We have 2-1 for the missile tanks, or for the ranged units of Deska, and we have no Zerglings out right now. I think he's on 1-1 there, on the Zerglings. Meanwhile, Cebus on 2-1 as well.
Yep, and Thebes does have his 3-2 going, so he's more on top of his upgrades this game, it looks like. But we got a big army of Zerg coming in here, really pushing the Terran back, and this may even alert him to this base up here. He does pick off all the tanks, which is going to stop this push from Thebes. I don't think Zerg quite saw that this base is here, but he may have an idea about it now.
I think so. I think once the next Defiler pops, he will do a little attack. Oh yeah, Overlord drops are out, so maybe he will just... Okay, he can't really drop that base with the Marines being up there, but he could fly to the top left corner and then maybe fly into the main base.
Okay, I think he didn't quite know about it there. He saw Marines and turrets and had to turn around. I think he was just going to go for the main base. He had no idea that that was there. But the Overlords do scout it. But this also tips Thebes off that there is a drop coming. You can see him starting to pull his army back, but I don't even know if this is going to be enough. There's only like a few Marines, a couple of vessels, and a couple of firebats. There's quite a bit in these Overlords. This could still be very dangerous for Thebes.
Yeah, let's see. Will he commit? Okay, he will. Yeah, very nice drop. And as you said, not enough defense here for Thebes. And I mean, he doesn't even have any units that he can send back at this point. He has a few Marines that are just dying. He has one tank that is also just alone by itself now. Will probably die to the Hydras very quickly here. And
Yeah.
there are
Sorry, go
just no
ahead.
units. No units for Thebes here to defend this.
Yeah, Thebes did find that 3 o'clock base and actually attacked up there with a small group, but the Sunken's finished in time to defend. You can see that one is pretty much dead. Now Deska is going to try and force his way up here as well. There's only one medic and a few Marines. I think he's going to be able to break this, and with that, yeah, Thebes is going to tap out. GG. Deska takes it 2-1.
GG. Okay, so congratulations to Deska. Deska advances to the winners match against Dark, where we'll see a PVZ. And Thebes is not out yet. He will have another shot against Tim in the loser match.
I think Deska's got the highest APM of anyone we've casted or I've seen. It's like end of the game, it's just almost 500 APM after a 20-minute game.
Yeah, highest APM
Very
span
fast
for
player.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so winners match is coming up. Deska versus Dark.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We've seen a lot of Deska versus Terran games, but we haven't seen Deska versus Protoss games. Like his versus Terran games are definitely unorthodox, right? They're definitely different. He approaches them with a different style, and it seems to be working well for him, despite being low economy early. And even though his opponents have scouted or seen that he's going for this like fast lurker drop kind of style, he still kind of takes it in macro games, or can still take the game even if it's defended. So we'll have to see. I'm really interested to see what his ZVP style is. Is he going to do some kind of like 2-hatch build again, or what?
We'll find out in this game. Game is loaded, so let's see. Yeah, the map is, I think it's Demonio Azul, right?
Yeah.
So in the bottom left, we have our gray Zerg Deska.
All right, and in the bottom right, we have our yellow Protoss this time. Remember, he played Zerg last time. It's KT Dark. Now, his Zerg was somewhat aggressive too. So, are we going to see some kind of, once again, aggressive Protoss play from him? Like maybe something more like a 2-gate, or at least 1-gate opening, maybe to some fast Zealots or something? We'll have to see.
Yes, so far he's just sending the probe out to build the pylon in the natural at a pretty normal timing. And Deska, on the other hand, not getting an Overlord, so we'll see a 9 pull here.
Yep. Once again, Deska favoring something more aggressive. Looks like Dark is probably going to go for that Forge Fast Expand, having put down the pylon and sent his probe out to scout right away.
Yes, and I mean maybe he's doing the scout in the wrong starting position, and I mean Deska is getting a 9 pull, so this can be very dangerous. The forge is not even started, so
yeah.
I'm not sure about this.
I clicked the Nexus. He had 4 probes queued up. He ended up canceling one, so I think he wanted to actually go for Nexus first here.
Yeah.
He still might try it. Like, this could be the end, right? Like, okay, he's going to go ahead and get the Forge first instead of the Nexus now. But that's still pretty late. Like, the Lynx could definitely still do some damage here.
Yeah, Lynx are building now. He has to get his cannon up as soon as possible here.
Yeah, he's just gonna leave that probe there. He's probably just sitting there spamming cannon, build cannon, right? Like,
Yes.
you can see he's not even microing the probe in the Zerg base, really. He just really wants to get that cannon down ASAP, and there it is. 2 cannons immediately.
Okay, can also throw down a gateway and pull some probes to make sure that the Zerglings cannot go through. But I think with 2 cannons he should be fine. And it looks like Deska is not really trying to kill Dark. He's kind of scouting the map a bit, chasing the probe a bit, so he's not going straight to Dark's natural as soon as possible.
Yeah, and Dark was doing a really good job using that probe to kind of body block those lanes too and just keep them slowed down just a little bit. The cannons will finish in time, and he's got a couple of probes there, so he will be perfectly fine. He goes ahead, throws down that Nexus, and I sure will see a gate thrown down here any moment now as well.
Yes. Okay, so little aggressive opening by Deska, but Dark is safe here. Of course, a 9 pool doesn't mean that you have to do damage. You can also use it to force the Protoss into a later Nexus and then do something else afterwards.
Yeah, and you also force the second cannon, so it's not like 9 pool is a cheese or anything. It's just more aggressive opening, and it just slows Protoss down as long as they react in time and properly. But we do see a fast lair coming out of Deska again. Like, is he just going to go for lurker drops against Protoss too? I mean, it's viable. It's something that can work, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's definitely true here. Okay, can he kill that probe? Probe is still alive. I mean, the lair is almost finishing, so if you want to go for a lurker drop, you want to already start the Hydralisk then at this point. But since the probe is still here, that's not really an option. So even if he maybe wanted to do that, I don't think he will at this point. So maybe he will go for a Spire.
In saying that,
Okay.
he's thrown down the Hydra Den at the natural, yeah. Now
Okay.
he's just going to try and keep this probe from scouting that, zone it out. It's going to be slightly delayed on that lurker tech. Like, he could have had a lurker upgrade starting out already, but it's not going to be the end of the world. Probe critically doesn't scout it. Now he may be thinking, okay, this is probably a Spire at this point. But he is sending a Zealot across the map, hoping to try and get some kind of a scout off, like see a Hydralisk or see the Spire at the natural, but these Lings are probably going to be able to catch that if he goes out and kill it before he can scout. Or not? Okay.
So can it slip by? It doesn't look like he can. It's Deska on top of the blocking. And Deska already put the overlords in position here. One at the natural. Saying that, he's actually flying it away again. So that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Oh, second Zealot. This one could go through to the natural. But okay, he's just joining them up to fight.
Yeah. Actually, we don't have any drop upgrade being upgraded yet. So he's probably just going to go for fast lurkers, maybe fast lurker contain or something, as opposed to actually dropping them in.
Looks like that's the case, yeah. So what does Dark have? Citadel going up, Stargate going up. I mean, this lurker is so early. You usually don't have a robotics at this point anyways, so it's not like he will scout. I mean, sure, if he scouts it, he could get the robotics earlier, but I think he's fine. He can survive. He has some cannons, so it's not like Deska can actually break his front, and then he will just get the robotics and the goons probably once he sees the lurkers in front of his natural.
Yeah, the play is probably going to be just using these lurkers to maybe bust down the front or the gateway or the forge if he can. Do have that first Corsair flying across here now, so he's going to have to make at least a couple Hydras to push that away. Looks like he's got a couple actually coming out now. Doesn't want to be losing a bunch of Overlords for free to the first Corsairs here. And now the Lurkers are in position and are going to start breaking down this wall of dark.
Okay, so okay, he's Dark is getting cannons in his mineral line in the main now, so he is very scared of a drop play, I think. Also flying the Corsair to the bottom left.
Yeah, he's looking for those Overlords, flying them around, seeing if he can see them. He's like, okay, this is probably Lurker drop or something. Maybe he even saw in the other games that this guy likes to go Lurker drop pretty much every game against Terran. But as we can tell, or as we know, there's no drop upgrade. And he just wants to bust on the front. We actually have a Dark Templar being built here already as well, so maybe he can slip that out and actually get some damage done at the third base. There's no Overlords or anything there yet.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. He's also not getting a robotics. Okay, just starting it now. Just starting it in the main now. But he got his Templar Archive, he got his cannons, he even got the second forge in the natural before even starting the robotics. So that's what I meant. You don't want to get the robotics super early.
Well, DT is out on the map now. Looks like he's actually going to cross the path of an Overlord, which could alert Deska if he's paying attention. There is an Overlord also popping at that third base, so he might be able to deflect this for now.
Yeah. Okay. DT is coming. Oh, the Hydras are not... It looks like he did not see the Dark Templar. He only saw the Corsair. And now he's losing some drones. Oh, nice block here by the DT. Getting 5 kills. Very nice attack.
Yeah, he did notice it, pulls those drones. He may be able to kill this Sunken here. He's just seeing the Hydras. He's just going to run, not wanting to lose the DT. But this running away, he may actually... Oh, no. He's like running away. He may actually go up and kill that drone and be able to deny the fourth, but he is not going to go that way. He's going to just turn and run back out onto the map. Bit unfortunate for him, or unlucky for him there, or a bit lucky for Deska, depending on your side. But meanwhile, looks like the Hydras are going to maybe almost pick off that Corsair. Not quite. Does get away for now.
Still no observatory for Dark, but getting a third forge because his initial forge was killed, of course. So going back up to 2 forges.
Oh, no way. That Dark Templar just doesn't barely see that drone.
Ah, okay.
He was sitting there as like 1 hex away from being able to see that drone. Anyway, DT does keep roaming around, seeing if he can find anything to pick off. Wall has been broken down a long time ago. Like you said, double forges are down, and we're getting a bunch of gateways out. Shuttle as well, so maybe we're going to get some kind of DT drop or High Templar drop harass coming very shortly from Dark.
Yeah, he's not getting any Dragoons or Dragoon range at this point. So that's really interesting. I really like this for him because it's not like Deska is going for full lurker container, so he's just going for 2 lurkers. Oh, but losing a High Templar here in the front. Yeah, but what I want to say, against only 2 lurkers, you don't really need goons. You can do that with an observer and a few zealots. So Dark not overreacting to seeing those 2 lurkers and getting only goons or so. So he will be in a nice position, I think.
Zerg, meanwhile, trying to chase down that Dark Templar. Looks like he finally will catch up with it and kill it. Nice little sigh of relief there. Deska doesn't have to worry about that Dark Templar wandering around too much now. Of course, they can always make another one, but meanwhile, 4th hatch is going down now. A little over halfway completed. So Deska's kind of getting into a good position here. Where's that shuttle? Okay, there it is. Looks like he's got 2 Dark Templars and 2 High Templars in here. He's going to fly along the bottom of the map, but it is going to be scouted by an Overlord. Well, there is an Overlord flying into the main base. If there were lurkers in there, maybe he could get something done, but just a scouting Overlord.
Yep. I mean, there are cans anyways, so I think he's fine. So did Deska see this shuttle or not? I think he will see it now. Yeah, he definitely saw.
Just chasing with the Overlord.
But he's not moving his Hydra. Okay, now he is. Okay. High Templar getting dropped out. Needs to be careful with the shuttle.
No, 1 High Templar trying to hide behind the gas there.
Yeah, only killing a single Hydra. Oh, and
shuttle goes down.
Templars are doing some damage here in the main base. Overlord a bit late here. So got around 7 drones, maybe 8. So yeah, nice drop. I think still effective drop here, even if Deska saw it coming.
Yeah, he got done what he could, knowing that Deska saw it. Not bad. Meanwhile, he's still mostly on this Zealot Templar army. He's got 1 Dragoon out on the map now. Maybe we'll start to see him start mixing in a few more, I would think. Goon range is just about to finish up as he's mixing those in. So, yeah, I think we'll start getting a really, really strong Protoss army that's going to be able to start contesting the map. But Deska is on 4 bases. He does have his hive finishing up now, or very shortly as well. So he's going to be a bit of a timer for Dark before the hive tech comes into play.
Yes, but this fourth base is still completely undefended, and I think Dark will probably assume it's there. So Dark moving in the middle of the map here, if he goes to the left, I think he could go into the fourth base and kill it right away. And also this third base is very in the open. Usually Zerg wants to have a small narrow gap defended with lurkers. That's what Zerg wants. That's what Zerg can easily defend. But the third base is very open, no lurkers, and he's getting a lot of sunkens because that's the only way he can defend it. But I'm not sure if it's enough still.
Yeah, it looks like he's moving in now. A lot of his army funneling down this small little ramp. Deska's going to try and move some army into position to defend this, but that's not enough what he has there now. This base may end up going down, although he is getting a few lurkers burrowed here now, and a lot of Dark's armies just kind of chilling up top, getting stuck on that small ramp.
Yeah. Yeah, but in the end, he's trading very well. He killed all the Sunkens. He's killing the Lurkers, nice storms. Even if he barely doesn't kill the hatchery, I think this was already a nice attack.
Yeah. Now, if he loses his whole army, that's definitely going to set him back a little bit. He is going to retreat now with the rest of this. May be able to get out with a couple of units. A bit unfortunate there for him, but he does have some more army that he's going to try and regroup with and maybe start building that army up so he can push again somewhere else and try and deny something of Zerg.
And he also has the third base up behind it, so yeah, he's really playing this as he should be very well. He's pressuring the Zerg and taking his bases behind that, so very nice play here by Dark.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we have a few random lings coming out on the map and a couple Hydras, maybe looking to see if they can pick off some High Templars or something. There is one there. It looks like he's thought about going for it. Decided not to. Seeing too many Dragoons and Zealots there. Just going to back off with those for now. Those Dragoons are actually going to engage those things. Okay, he does pull them back so he doesn't lose them. But now he's going for that bigger ramp to push down, and all the lurkers have since been moved, so he's going to be able to get down this ramp here and see maybe if he can find a place that he can break some Zerg stuff.
Yeah, so the lurkers are always weaker when they have to move, and we can always see Dark attacking in places where the lurkers are not. Okay, I mean, now that I say that, he's attacking into these lurkers, but there's only 3 lurkers, that's fine.
Yeah, Storm going down on one of those looked like it could maybe hit 2, but it only hit one of them there. Now we got some Zerg units streaming in, but this is a pretty sizable army here for Dark. And not a lot here for Deska. I think he's actually going to be successful in maybe taking down this base this time.
Yeah, the lurkers are dying here. Not quite, okay. There's still one lurker, if he can kill this one without losing the observer.
Okay, nice job keeping that alive. Oh, it does take another hit, 1 hit from death on that observer, but there's no lurkers left here at this base. So he should be able to kill this base now.
I really want to see him retreating now. You don't want to lose these goons and High Templars. There's so much gas.
Looks like he is going to stay. There's not a lot of units here. He can probably pick off this hatchery first and then get back out of there, because he can't stay too long, like you're saying, or else he could be in danger of losing that whole army, although he does have some reinforcements coming in. If he can join these 2 armies up together, especially after taking out that base, this is looking very scary for Deska.
Yeah, can he do that before he loses all his High Templars? Okay, all the goons are down, High Templars are also going down. So staying a little bit too long maybe, but I think he's still in a very strong position here.
Yeah, he's still got 2 High Templars, he's got a decent sized army, he has picked off that base, making it a 3 base to 3 base. Of course, I'm saying that he's about to mine from his 4th base and even taking a 5th base here. Protoss just kind of expanding everywhere like he's a Zerg or something. So this is looking very good for Dark, like especially if the Zerg can't shut these bases down. There's a lot of cannons at the top base. These 4 lings aren't going to be able to shut it down. This is looking very, very bad for Deska. I think Dark is probably got this game. Like,
Yeah, I don't see what Deska can really do. Maybe he can take this base at the 6 o'clock. But yeah, that's all I can think of. I don't know.
yeah, maybe some kind of like drops to kill a bunch of probes or something. I don't know. Like, his force is kind of split up right now. The Protosses. He's attacking this a base from two sides at once. But he is going to get in on top of the sunken. He's going to get on top of the drones. A bunch of lurkers coming up from behind. So all these goons are probably going to die. But he's going to be able to get a lot of damage done. Storming the drones, even getting a bunch of drones kills. Even if he loses this army, he's still in a great position.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to kill the base. He got the storm off on the drones. He knows he has 5 bases up as a Protoss against the Zerg, so he's surely way ahead on economy, especially with that storm on the drones. So that's totally fine. The only thing that Deska could do is maybe kill this expansion. So I want to see Dark moving his army, and he does that in the direction of his base here. But I think he has too many cannons anyways.
Yeah, like that army's gonna be a little bit late to the party, but like you said, I don't think he necessarily has enough anyway to kill this. All these cannons are gonna clean up these Lings and Hydras. Only losing 2 cannons in the process, so very bad trade there for Deska too, when he's already behind. It's just making it harder and harder on him to fight back into this game. Looks like Protoss is maybe even thinking about taking 6 o'clock himself, or he just sent a Zealot up there to scout maybe. But what can Deska do at this point? Like, we got pretty good army here for Dark. He's going to join it up with the army in the middle of the map and start pressuring Zerg once more.
Yes, and at this point, okay, now there are lurkers on the high ground for Deska on the left base here, so I'm not sure if Dark can run in there, but he could also just attack the natural, I think.
Yeah, that might even be a better play, getting in on the natural. Looks like Deska's going to send a group of units to deny this 6th base attempt from Protoss, but Dark's really not going to mind too much. Like, that base is more like, yeah, I'll just take this because I can, not because I need it kind of base. So even killing or denying that. We do have some Overlords flying into the main here. A few Lurkers, Hydras, and Lings in here. Is there anything in position to stop this?
Yeah, it looks like there are some cannons, some zealots coming back. The High Templars don't have Storm yet. In a few seconds they have. Yeah, but the cannons and the zealots are doing its job already. Overlord, or Observers also in place, so no real big damage done here by Deska. Nice defense.
Yeah, quickly cleaned up from Dark. He was on top of that. Like, he saw the Overlords coming or something. Looks like Dark wants to try and take the natural base. Like, he's just trying to expand everywhere. He knows this game's in the bag. He's just like, oh, I'm just going to take bases. It's whatever, right? Like, Zerg can't really kill me anywhere. Looks like Zerg's maybe going to try and take out that 12 o'clock base. Now, if he did that, it would set Protoss back a little bit, but I still think he would be in a winning position, even losing that base at this point.
I want to see him just run into the natural. Is he actually doing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think this is the game-ending move here. There's a group of Hydra Ling going towards the top right base, but even that isn't going to be enough. And it looks like he's deciding to maybe pull his units back to try and save himself, but again, even if he cleans this army, it's just going to be too little too late. Bunch of Dragoons even going towards the top to save himself, and yeah, he can't compete with either Protoss army here. Protoss army is just going to win on both fronts, and with that, he's going to take game number 1.
Yeah, GG. Very nice game by Dark.
Which
Okay,
means Dark is now 1 game away from being our first player into the round of 8.
that is correct. And he played a very good game, I think. He played very safe in the beginning, getting those 2 cannons, getting additional cannons in the middle line against possible lurker drops that didn't even come. He got, yeah, he was just very safe and still came out ahead. maybe he knows Deska, maybe he knows that Deska likes to play very aggressive, so playing safe is definitely the correct decision here, and it worked out well for him.
Well, we'll see if Deska can bring it back and force a game 3, or if Dark will be our first player into the round of 8.
Yes, and the next game is ready. And here we go. On Polypoid in the bottom left, we have our yellow Protoss. One game away from advancing. It is Dark.
And in the top left is our Black Zerg, BSL Deska. Now, even if Deska loses this game, he's not out eliminated. He just goes down into the final match to play the winner of Tim and Phoebus for the second spot to advance. So it's not like this is do or die for him, but of course you still want to advance first from the group if you can. So I'm sure he'll still be trying his heart out to win this game. Now, another 2-hatch build from Deska. What are the chances? Probably pretty good, right?
Probably pretty good, yes. I mean, he's doing it pretty much every game. We didn't see any passive macro style game from him so far in this tournament.
So we got an in-base pylon from Dark that was actually a bit late. He's going to be supply blocked for a little bit here, for like half a pylon worth or something. Maybe deciding where he wanted to place it or what he was going to do. So we're going to have a one-base build now. It remains to be seen if he's going to go for a one-base tech build or if he's going to go for something like a 2-gate, put on that early pressure. Let's see. Depends if he goes and takes that gas here next or if he wants to throw down a second gateway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. We have not seen a lot of one-base plays for Protoss. But sadly, this Overlord, or sadly for him, this Overlord is scouting the correct direction and will find the Protoss base, and with that will also see this rush, the 2-gate here for Dark. So Deska should be able to prepare and take pretty much no damage from this.
Potentially, anyway. A lot of the times you'll see Zergs scout, and if they see nothing at the natural, it's like, oh, no pylon, no cannon. Okay, he's not in this base, and then just send the Overlord in a different direction or something, and not actually go all the way in to scout the main base. So we'll have to see. Looks like Deska is not going to do that, and he is going to fly into the main base, so he will have warning of this. And yeah. Will he see it? Will he see it? Will he see it? There it is. So he does confirm, turning the Overlord around after confirming. He only saw one gate, though. I would have liked him to fly a little bit further to confirm if it was 1-gate tech or if it was 2-gate.
I think he saw the second gate as well, so I think it's fine. Okay.
Okay, he does see the second gate now anyway. I had his vision and I didn't see the second gate, but he does see it now, so he should know exactly what he's playing against.
Okay, I mean, occasionally we see people scouting a certain build and then still don't know how to react and maybe still don't have enough defense because they're not used to this kind of attack. But in this case, yeah, I mean, we see Deska not making a sunken right now. He's only getting Zerglings. So I think we have seen a Zerg die like this before.
Yeah, I think it was Jayun or something we saw.
Maybe Machine, I'm not sure.
Yeah, somebody anyways. He hasn't killed any of the Zealots yet. He is getting a bunch of Lings out. Like, one of those Zealots is pretty low, so I think he should be able to push this back, but he's going to have to kill a couple of these Zealots before more join the fight here.
This was a pretty fine attack for Deska, killing one Zealot. Another one is very close to being dead.
Just 3 HP on that one if he could target that and pick it off. But he's got a lot of Lings here now. I think he's going to be fine. Yep. Cleaning up even another Zealot. Alright, now I'd like to see him turn his Zealots around. Okay, looks like he is going to do that now. At least one of them was being turned around. He's either got to meet up with a couple of his buddies and fight with a few Zealots, or he's got to go back and hold his ramp. Okay, looks like he's planning to meet up, because he can't just fight with one Zealot or a couple Zealots at a time. He needs as many as possible to fight.
Oh, but this could be dangerous. I mean, the Zealots are just at the ramp now. Okay,
Wow.
just in time. That was very scary. Deska, he ran around a little circle here. If he didn't do that
Yeah.
and ran straight to the main, he could have gotten up this ramp before the Zealots can block him.
Yeah, good buying time there from Dark. Looks like we got some nice little micro coming down here against these Lings, but they will fall. Kill those Zealots. So where do we go from here? Looks like Deska is going to go ahead and tech up from here. He's got his Citadel just about finished. His Stargate just finished now. So he's going to get that first Corsaro, do some scouting, see if he can't pick somebody off. Meanwhile, we do have the Hydralisk done for Deska, so he's going to be able to get a couple of Hydralisks out to deflect that first Corsair.
And Deska getting a third base here against the Protoss on one base could be a little bit greedy, but overall I think with the trades he had early on, killing all the Zealots, he is in a very good position here.
Looks like he's going to push down with a couple Zealots, see if he can't pick off a couple of those Lings. But Deska's on top of that. Tried to pick off some Zealot, maybe. He's very fast. Like, you can even see he's just sitting at 500 APM, and he sits there, like, all game. I don't know how he does it. That's, like, faster than most of the pro gamers, so that's pretty crazy. But, yeah, looks like he wants to go for that kind of 2-hatch lurker that we saw before. He's got the lurker upgrade on the way. First Hydra's popping out, so he should be able to push away this Corsair, hopefully before losing this Overlord.
Yeah. So the drone count of Deska is not too big. Okay, just 2 more drones popping out. So Deska was forced into a lot of units so far and no drones, but I think it's still fine. I mean, the Protoss is on one base, and yeah, he has the lurkers to defend the Corsair. He has the lurker upgrade that will probably not be in time for this Zealot attack. The speed is finished. Does he have enough? I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I don't think so.
I'm not sure either. Yeah, this could actually just win the game potentially. Now, it should be noted that these Zealots do not have +1, so they're not going to kill these Lings as quickly as they might normally kill them, which is definitely going to help Deska out in defending this. But this is still a scary number of Zealots, and he's going to have this Corsair working away at some of these Overlords. I don't know if he has enough.
Oh, the lurker egg. The Zealots could kill this egg if he surrounds it. Oh, this is close.
Yeah, I think he is going to get it.
Oh, can he get it? Yes, he can.
Oh no. Deska really wanted that or needed that to help him defend here. Like, is he just dead? I don't think he can hold this, can he? Some of these Zealots are getting a little low.
Even if he can hold it, he already lost a lot of drones during this as well.
Yeah. If Dark was continuing to make Zealots and sending them across the map, I think he would just run Deska over here. It looks like he is going to clean this up. Only one Zealot left now. He does have a Lurker finished as well, so he is going to be able to defend. He didn't lose his third base, so that's good as well. But like you said, he's taken a lot of damage, and we got to put Dark in a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, so Dark again did what he did in the last game. While pressuring, he gets another base up behind that. So he used this little attack not only to do damage, but also get the Nexus and the cannons up in his natural. And that means he's in a pretty good position, doubling the worker count here. And he also has all the tech he needs. He has the Templar Archive, he even has the Observer in production already. So the tech is done for Dark for now. And with the expansion, he can just add some more gateways and get a big army out.
Oh, he's trying to slip this DT, and it does get in, but there are a couple Overlords here, so he should be able to kill this off without too much damage. Although there's another DT at the third base, killing a couple of drones. Dark really on top of this harass at the moment, forcing some drone pulls, killing what he can. That DT's going to try and slip into the natural maybe and kill a few more drones. Looks like he probably will get at least a couple here.
Oh, and now the Hydras from the main base are back in the natural, so... Okay, Deska is still aware that this DT is hiding in the main.
Alright. looks like he is gonna eventually get there and kill it. Maybe. It's gonna take a while with those slow overloads, but he will eventually kill that. But critically, like it stopped a lot of mining time here from Deska, who was already
Yeah.
like a bit behind. So this is just putting Dark in a better and better position. Like he's literally got 0 units back at home at the moment, so that's something, I guess. But he's gonna start being able to afford to add on a bunch of gateways. Just as I say that, he's putting down looks like three at least three more. Maybe gonna put in down a fourth there. He's got a couple of High Templar coming out and Storm Research on the way as well. So he should be fine, especially once Storm's finished. There's not much that Duska's going to be able to do to punish Dark.
Yeah, and when you see Zerg being almost half the drone or half the worker count, you don't want to see him making additional creep colonies here or sunken colonies. Because if he even has to use more drones to get more defense because he's on the brink of dying the whole time, then he will never come back into the game economically.
All right, well, looks like is that +1 or +2? Okay, +1 is finally on the way here for Dark, about half done. Meanwhile, he's starting to pump out a bunch of Zealots and Templar now, really going to start ramping up his unit production now that he's got all the tech he wants. He's got 2 bases. Looks like he may even actually go for a 3rd base here at the mineral only right now. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, meanwhile, scouting the 4th base or the possible 4th base of Deska, it's not there, and that is, yeah, surely making Dark happy to see, because he is getting his own 3rd base up, as you said, and 3 base Protoss against 3 base Zerg is very nice for the Protoss.
Looks like Deska's going to try and deny this. He's not going to get much done. He's going to pick off that probe. Maybe he can try and pick off one of these High Templar, but he doesn't even want to try. He's just going to get out of there. Oh, or not. Okay. He's just going to get out of there knowing he can't really take that fight.
Okay, Deska getting a lot of sunkens. 4 sunkens at his 3rd now. And meanwhile, tagging into Spire in his main base. I don't think we saw a Spire last game, so this is something new for Deska. Will he maybe go for a Mutilus switch? He has a lot of gas, so that's definitely a possibility in this game.
Yeah, a lot of the times you would see it might be just for some Scourges to maybe pick off drops and kill observers, sorry, that are trying to push into Lurker Sunkens, stuff like that. But in this case, like you said, I think it could be for a Mutalisk switch because he's got a lot of gas and because he hasn't seen very much anti-air. Like there's not a lot of Sayers out or anything for Dark. All he really has is Zealot Templar. So yeah, actually, he is making Mutalisks right now.
Yeah. So he saw the army of Dark with those 5 Hydralisks earlier. So he saw 3 High Templar and no anti-air basically. But now that he gets the Mutalisk, Dark is actually getting pure goons out of his gateways, and he already has the cannons in his mineral lines, except maybe it's a 3rd base. So I'm not sure if this can work for Deska. I think Dark just has a little bit too much anti-air anyways.
Yeah, and those mutas attacked the Zealot, which kind of alerted Dark that the mutas were there, so he was able to pull his High Templar closer to those cannons to protect them, so he can't even pick off the High Templars. So it just seems like Dark is one step ahead of Deska at every turn in this game.
Yeah.
He's prepared for anything that Deska's been trying to do, and in doing so, he's just pulling further and further ahead. Right, like 3 base versus 3 base. Yeah, we have Deska taking this 4th base now, but it's so much later than Protoss. Like by the time he's able to get that set up and going, it feels like Dark's gonna have an army that he can just push across the map and either kill it or kill another base or just really stop Deska from getting where he wants to be.
Yes, so again, we have a little bit similar situation compared to last game where Dark had a strong army and then decided to run into the mass sunken on the 3rd base instead of killing the undefended 4th base. But this time he actually scouts the 4th base, so now he can use his army, go over there and deny that 4th base, I think.
Looks like he's planning to do just that. There's no observers with this army just yet, but there is one coming, so I'm guessing that's heading towards the army. So he should be able to at least hopefully deny that base for him or trade out a lot of army for Deska and force units, just further cementing his lead. Just kind of using this army to protect or take a fourth base kind of behind this.
Yeah,
We'll have to
we
see where he wants
see
to go.
we need to see Deska moving up lurkers to this fourth base, otherwise it will be dead. But once again, Dark, he's not interested in killing undefended bases. He just wants to go for the heart again.
Yeah, and it could backfire on him. There's a lot of
Yeah.
sunkens and lurkers here. We'll have to see how this goes. Like, Deska's playing this like he's really spreading out his creep and his lurker sunken spore kind of thing. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Yeah, it looks like he's going to back up for now. It's so hard to push into a Zerg turtled position. It'd be so much easier if he just went up that raptor. He could easily kill the base, and it looks like that's what he's going to do now.
Okay, so at least he is doing it now and not losing his army. So, I mean, he's still losing his army, but at least it looks like he can kill this fourth base up.
He can use the high ground kind of to his advantage, position his goons on top of that, and start hitting the hydras as they come up, as well as nice storms on the bottom there. Even if he doesn't kill this base, he's trading so effectively just by camping on the top of the ramp here and killing all these hydras. A couple of very nice storms going down there, killing most of those hydras as well. So he is going to kill that base. He is killing a bunch of army for Deska. And like, look at the supply difference here. We got Dark almost 100 supply ahead now at the moment. This is looking very, very bad for Deska. I mean, Protoss's fourth base is just coming up, whereas Zerg's just sitting here on 3 bases.
Yeah, once again, during the attack of Dark, he is getting a base behind this attack. So he's really playing textbook Protoss here, very, very nice. And he's doing damage and getting more ahead in the economy during that at the same time. So that's always super nice for Protoss.
Looks like Deska's got a bit of an army going towards the bottom right here. I thought maybe he was going to try and attack that fourth base. Is he just going to try and like burrow the lurkers up here and defend this position and take a base down here? I don't know what this is all about. Or did he expect a base to be there?
He probably wanted to attack the fourth base, but then was caught by the Protoss army and then just had to secure or not lose the army somehow.
Yeah, but unfortunately for him, he could really use some more of that army to help defend this next attack. Like, this is a huge army coming out from Dark now. He's at 160 supply, and a bunch of the army for Deska's back at home. Even if he goes to attack this fourth base, there's plenty of cannons there to defend this. And I think he's going to lose this position here, too, back at his natural. How can he stop this army? Even Dark has a control group of units not in the fight at the moment, but he's still got so much here.
We can see this time not a single lurker defending, and if Zerg has no lurkers defending, then a Zerg cannot stop an army of this size by the Protoss, over doubling the supply. So this will seal the deal here for Dark.
Yeah, well played by Dark both series, really. Only dropping one game in his group, so definitely looking to be a strong contender moving forward. But he will be the first player to advance into the round of 8, so congratulations to him.
Yes, congratulations. So that means Deska is not out, of course. That was the winner's match, so he will be in the final match of this group against the winner of the loser's match, and we'll find out who that will be in that loser's match between Thebes and Timir.
That's right. So this should be a PVT.
Yeah, also a matchup that we have not seen today, so yeah, really a very nice mix.
Yeah, it should be exciting to see this one because, like I said, Thebes usually beats me, so I want to see if Tim can show me how it's done.
That being said, I don't have replays from the losers match here, so it looks like we see a walkover. Let me find out. There should be some information here. 1 second.
Oh no.
Okay, I got it. So Thebes wasn't able to finish his games, lost by walkover in the losers match. That's information I got for you. So Yeah, Thebes is out, and that means Deska goes from the winners match to the finals match. Yeah, and now that means Tim, of course, going from that losers match without playing in the finals match. I was mistaken there. But yeah, anyways, we'll see Deska versus Tim in the final match now.
All right. Now everything's on the line for these two. Winner moves on. Loser is eliminated.
Yes. And I'm preparing the overlay, and then we'll jump into the game. Okay. We are ready. The map is Blade Runner. Okay, first map of the match, Blade Runner. We have not seen that so far, so that's very interesting. But we have seen Blade Runner in the game Dark versus Tim before, and yeah, Tim lost that in a PvZ. So what can he do against Deska here? So in the bottom right of Blade Runner, we have our red Protoss Tim.
All right, and in the top right, we have our pink Zerg Deska. And he is sending his overlord in the direction that will scout Tim first. I believe that is the opposite direction that you would normally scout with an overlord, but that could just be a map thing, like, oh, I don't know the map very well, so I'm just going to send it this way kind of thing, as opposed to sending it towards the closest natural. But this will work out for him. He will see Tim's base first, and looks like Tim is probably going to go for that gate expand that we saw him doing in earlier series, having sent that probe to go mine a mineral and not out to scout right away.
Okay, 9 pool going up for Deska. So he did go for that in that Demonio Azul game versus Dark, and it did not work out for him. But yeah, so will Tim scout the right direction or not? This is a 4-player map. If he doesn't scout in the right direction, and he's not, this will be a super late scout, and he will probably be very surprised by that 9 pool.
It definitely could be dangerous. Okay, he's actually scouting for the Overlord again. That's right. He did that on this map before. Not seeing the Overlord there, he's actually going to scout the other direction. Now, the funny thing is, like, normally, if Zerg was scouting the correct direction, say he was bottom left and scouting the correct direction, Tim would have scouted that, but he was scouting the wrong direction. So even if he was bottom left, if he continued to scout the wrong direction, kind of thing, like he did here, Tim still wouldn't have seen the Overlord and went in the wrong place. But it's actually going to work out for him in this case because of the spawns. So luckily for him,
yes,
he is going to scout Zerg here. And he is going to see those lings.
Yeah, Deska did not save up 3 lava for 6 Zerglings, so once again, it looks like he's not planning to actually kill the Protoss with the initial 6 Zerglings. He just wants to get Zerglings out on the map to maybe deny scouting and then go for some weird, maybe aggressive build after killing the scout probe.
Yeah, the lings started going in the wrong direction, but the Overlord did see the Nexus and pylon there, so he corrected that and started setting the right way. But we do have 2 Zealots out for Tim. He did put that Forge down right away just to be safe here and make sure he doesn't die to a bunch of early lings, because he's probably still remembering that game against Dark he had earlier.
Yeah. And yeah, Tim playing it very safe, so not getting the Nexus here. Some Protoss, you can see them, they get the Nexus anyways. They are completely fine with having a few Zealots in the gap, and they know, okay, there's no way that those 4 or 6 Zerglings can actually kill me. I can get the cannon a little bit later, but get my Nexus out earlier. But in this case, Tim actually got the 3rd Zealot and a cannon before his Nexus, so playing super safe here. Yeah.
Yeah, just really not wanting to risk dying to a bunch of lings again like he did. Now, did that probe, I know it died, but did it see the lair being started? I don't think it did.
I'm not sure.
So he may not know what's coming, so this could definitely taken by surprise. But in saying that, he is pushing out with these zealots. So if he can maybe get a scout off with these zealots, or see that the hatch was late, okay, it's finished now. But see like a low drone count or something, maybe he can figure out what's going on. But he is actually just going to go ahead and turn around now after forcing at least a creep colony.
Yeah, it's interesting that Tim is always moving out these 3 zealots and then retreating them again on the halfway towards the opponent, because some protoss are using those 3 zealots also as a scouting tool, so they go into the natural of the Zerg, and even if there are more Zerglings, they kinda fake a fight, or they start a fight but then split off one zealot to scout the main base, for example. But yeah, Tim is not doing that, so Tim still in the dark here, and we have the trademark lurker for Deska again.
Now Tim did get the probe around these lings, but funnily enough, the fact that he sent those zealots out and forced this sunken is going to deny this probe from possibly from getting in here. Okay, yeah. So the probe doesn't get in. So because he sent those zealots out and forced Deska to make the sunken, Tim isn't actually going to get in and scout what's going on. Bit unfortunate there. We do have Stargate just now starting for Tim, actually, so it's going to be a long time before he can even scout what's going on. This could definitely take him by surprise and do a lot of damage if he's not not prepared for it, right?
Yeah, the second gateway before the Stargate is very interesting, and he probably has to do something with his extra zealots he can produce from those 2 gateways. And maybe he goes for a push out. Yeah, okay, he's doing it now, so he will have like 8 zealots very shortly, and maybe he can push across the map and do a little bit there. But if not, the lurkers are already almost out here.
Now Tim is throwing down a couple of cannons here in his main base, so he's definitely playing this properly in the sense that I don't know what you're doing, so I need to play it safe, so I don't just get surprised and die by mutalisks or some kind of drop coming in. Of course, if Deska was just playing straight up, this is going to hurt Tim, put him a little bit behind. But because he's playing like against a 2-hatch build, it's not the end of the world here for sure to have a couple extra cannons.
Yeah. And for some reason, those Zerglings did not spot the zealots, but there's the lurker out, so Deska is totally fine here. Oh, blocking the ramp with that egg. Very nice play here by Deska.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, we do have 3 lurkers at the front, and there's only 1 cannon. If those lings get in here, he could probably just bust down the front here. Tim's spamming out the cannons now, realizing what this is and is in danger. But if these lurkers and lings can pick off this cannon, he's not going to have any detection here. This could be very dangerous for Tim. Yeah. If he can deny the rest of these cannons from coming up, what is Tim going to be able to do? He's going to lose his natural.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, there are still 3 zealots in the main base of Deska. But slowly but surely Deska is cleaning those up, and yeah, he can just kill Tim at this point. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Tim's making a couple of cannons in his main base here, but these lings and lurkers are going to get on top of those. One of the lurkers does get in range of that cannon and goes down, unfortunately for Deska, but he still has two lurkers here, one killing the natural. Tim has killed all the lings off here, though. So maybe he can hold on for a little bit longer. But still, he has no answer to these lurkers, right? He's not gonna get obs out for a while. He's got the robo started now, but it's still gonna take a while to get that finished.
Yep, this cannon will also die. The Nexus is going down here. Oh, Deska wants to kill the robotics, maybe? Or just get closer to the mineral line.
He's at least going to stop this cannon from coming up, which is going to allow him to eventually kill that robo.
Yeah, and with that...
Doesn't look like he's targeting it right now, but yeah. He's actually just targeting the pylon, but even still.
Yeah, maybe he could just go a little bit closer and just kill the probes in the mineral line. That would also work. I mean, he has so many ways to win this game at this point.
Yeah, he almost killed that pylon. And then he decided to start targeting the Robo after that pylon almost died. Tim's throwing down that Robo or Observatory now, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get the obs out in time to save his base. Even if he does, he's taking just so much damage though.
He's getting another robotics, but this is already getting targeted by a lurker, so...
Yeah, he's doing whatever he can to try and survive because he knows like Zerg is on such a low economy in 2 base because of how fast the lurkers came out and everything. Yeah, Robo goes down, but it's not going to be enough. I can appreciate the attempt here, but even if he does defend this, he's just taking too much damage.
I mean, Deska could just move those lurkers into the middle line, but he's not doing that for some reason. So Tim still has some hopes, but those will surely be dead very soon.
Looks like he's going to send his units across the map to try and get some counter damage done to Deska, but he's going to be sad to find that there's not really any damage that can be done back at Deska's base. And I think once his units get there, he'll probably just leave. Okay, he's sending them back now, actually. Realizing he is actually going to get an observer out of this robotics facility and be able to clean up the lurkers in his base.
Yeah. Where's the observer? The observer is not rallied. It's sitting. Just sitting.
Oh no. There. Yeah, he's got the observer out, but that's what he's been waiting for this whole time and still just sitting there. Okay, he's bringing it over now. He's going to clean up these lurkers, but even if he does, oh, there's a bunch of lings and hydras here as well. And yeah, I think this is it.
He lost all the shields because the observer was not there. He just let his units stay on top of the lurkers without detection. And yeah, now I'm not even sure if he can kill those lurkers. There are still 3 lurkers. I don't think he can actually.
Yeah, these goons are almost dead. The Zealot's almost dead. Yeah. GG. And losing those units, he taps out. GG. Yeah.
Okay. Deska. 1-0 in this final match of the group. Only 1 game away from advancing here.
Yeah, Tim needs to win this next game, or needs to win the next 2 games if he wants to move on in BSL. If he drops even 1 more game here, he will be eliminated. So.
Yes. Can the 2 Ds defend the 2 Ts? The 2 players with D in the beginning of their name advancing against the players with T in the beginning of their name. Interesting.
Well, about to find out. Or it could be the 2 Protosses advancing, which might be nice to see considering how many Zergs are in Gosuleague.
Yeah, that's true. But that being said, Dark is half Protoss, half Zerg. I think he's even playing Zerg against Terran, maybe? I'm not sure. I think he's Zerg in 2 matchups.
Yeah, he might be.
Okay, so the potential last game, maybe second last game, is loaded here. The map is polypoid, and here we go. In the bottom right corner, we have our green Zerg, 1 win away from advancing. It is Deska.
And in top left, do or die time, we have our red Protoss Tim. All right, polypoid, cross spawns, bigger map. We saw Tim is definitely comfortable in those macro style games, so being cross map can definitely lead towards that. And we know Deska likes to be aggressive, so being cross map again, I'll just buy Tim a little bit more time. Maybe if Deska does something aggressive to prepare and defend it. So maybe that gives him a little bit of an advantage here going into some kind of a mid or a late game. But we'll have to see. I mean, Deska can certainly mix it up. And once Zerg gets kind of 4 bases going here, it's really hard to break those bases once they get them defended, like the high ground mineral only, and say the 6 o'clock position here where Zerg is now. And once Zerg gets those 4, it's really hard to kind of get your army into anywhere that can actually break any of those Zerg bases. Mm-hmm. But it may not get to that point because, like we've seen, Deska really likes his aggressive builds. And yeah, Tim scouting for that Overlord once again, not seeing it. This time the Overlord is going the correct way for Deska, though. So, there you go.
Yes. We have seen Deska doing those weird aggressive strategies. especially the lurkers or lurker drops, of course. But we have also seen him winning his macro games most of the time. We saw against Redley last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure. And we also saw him winning a late game against Phoebus today. We have not seen him do the same against Protoss, so we don't know about his ZVP against Protoss so far.
Yeah,
But I mean, he can definitely also play a late game.
yeah, like maybe his ZVT is stronger. He definitely looked pretty solid in his ZVTs, despite playing quite a bit different or unique style from what we normally would see. But now Tim is going to go ahead and get the scout off. He is going to be happy to see that hatchery being almost completed, knowing that there's not a bunch of lings all of a sudden coming to his base in this game.
Yes. Okay, this Zealot will not be there in time. Of course, being cross position here, the way is a little bit longer, so the Zerglings will be out before the Zealot can do some actual damage.
Although in saying that, Deska actually didn't save up Larva for his lings, so he's only got 2 finishing here, and 2 more about half done. So he will have 4 by the time the Zealot gets into the base here and starts to be able to pressure. But still, if he had 6, he could definitely push this back a lot easier or a lot quicker.
Can he block him from getting behind the minerals? Maybe half. I don't know.
Half block. Pretty nice control. I gotta say from both players. Like Tim had some pretty nice stutter step micro there and blocking with the probe to get some ling kills, but also good control from Deska, only losing 3 lings to the Zealot and probe combination there.
And by the way, I just remember we have seen. Was it Tim against Dark? Maybe. We have seen Tim dying to Speedlings earlier, right? That was Tim, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And we see a lot of Zerglings and Speed finishing. So there is not even a forge up. So I don't know. There are 2 2 Zealots, one more spawning soon, or yeah, from the gateway. But yeah, that was Tim losing his third gateway, third Zealot. Oh, is he again losing Zealot here?
Oh, a couple lings do get in, but I don't think Tim's gonna die to it this time. There's not a bunch of lings being streamed in from Deska this game.
Hmm.
Doesn't even look like he's gonna necessarily lose another probe. So that's nice. Cannon is gonna come up, so he's not gonna die to the speedlings this time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what
four
do
more
we got going on?
Zerglings.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
built 4 more Zerglings, but he didn't send them over, so no damage, no real damage done to Tim here. Some mining time lost, but yeah, Stargate is going up now, and apart from that, of course, we have the Hydrogen for Deska.
Yeah.
And the lair.
No Aspire. Yeah. So lurkers, anybody? Waiting for that lurker upgrade. But yeah, do have a third base coming for Deska as well. There's that lurker upgrade. Meanwhile, we got a little bit of a push out from Tim. This can always be a little bit risky because you don't know if Zerg is making a bunch of Zerglings behind this, right? If you push out with four Zealots and all of a sudden a bunch of Speedlings surround all your Zealots and kill them, they can get into your main and just kill you, right? So you got to be a little bit careful when pushing out like this, especially if you only have one cannon behind and you're not blocking your choke. But looks like Tim's maybe aware of this. He doesn't want to push or commit too far, and just kind of keeping his Zealots back, maybe hoping to force a couple of lings or something, just checking what's going on out there and then pulling the Zealots back so the lings can't get into his base.
Seeing this same build order every single time by Deska, I really want to see a Protoss going for like a 6-gate range Goon all in on 2 bases. That's definitely a build that exists. You can do that. You get the fast expansion, obviously, and then you just throw down 6 gateways very quickly, get the Goon range, and make non-stop Goons. I think that could actually crush Deska.
Yeah, you have to get there before the lurkers are done and ready. But yeah, otherwise, even still, like a couple of lurkers aren't going to stop it. You can just kind of avoid them or just ignore them. But we do have Lurker upgrade finished. Now he's going to start on his Hydra upgrades. Evo chamber, but Tim's got full scouting. He saw the hydrogen, saw the lair, saw the second gas. So he's probably thinking, okay, this is probably lurkers. Maybe he's going to go for some kind of a drop or something. We'll see if he prepares for any of these options.
So far, we just see gateways going up. Upgrades are researching, of course. The +1 and the speed zealot upgrade should align pretty nicely. Of course, they're scouting, almost dying here, but yeah, just checking out what's going on. He sees more units spawning and no drones. So maybe he thinks that there is a big push coming. So he should be careful with those zealots on the map, still being slow.
Yeah, especially before speed. I don't know if he was pushing out thinking his speed and +1 were almost done, or if he's just like looking to see if there's any units. He does see this lurker here now, or will see it momentarily once it starts attacking his zealots anyway, so he does know about it.
Okay, so where is the robotics? Okay, we see it going up in the natural.
Instantly throw down another cannon as well, wanting to try and protect that forge maybe a little bit more something.
Oh!
He does pick off a lurker. Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, nice job here. And now his speed will finish. The +1 also finished. Are there lurkers back in Deska's base? There are, but not in the third base. The third base could die here if the lurkers are not coming over.
Yeah, and having speed and +1 lurker, he can kind of ignore or fight around one lurker, right? And I mean, there's a second lurker now, but even still, like 1 or 2 lurkers, you can kind of still fight or run around and avoid them. Like you could send some zealots up into the main.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's probably what his plan is. Oh, but he's gonna get some nice. He's gonna get those lurker egg blocks off on the main just to hold that. But still, the zealots are gonna be getting a lot of damage done. I mean, kills the sunken. He's killing drones at the third base. He killed every single drone there going down at the third base.
Yeah, he could even target the hatchery with those remaining zealots. But okay, he's losing those in the natural, so I don't think he will get it. So yeah, okay, he doesn't think so either. So he... Okay, he's still trying. But yeah, still a lot of damage done by Tim. He killed a lot of drones.
Yeah. Nice little micro tricks there, trying to avoid the spines a couple of times, but realizing he's still not going to be able to get it. Turns back with those last 2 zealots. Meanwhile, his gateway does just go down in the front of his base, but he's not going to mind that too much. He's already got a bunch of gateways in his main base now, even adding 1 more to replace that, and he's got observers coming out. So Tim's probably feeling pretty good. Like, he killed a lot of drones, forcing Deska to remake those drones while he's continuing to build up his army.
Yeah, and Tim can just pressure again now that he has the observer out. He just killed the whole army except those like 2 or 3 lurkers that were left for Deska. So he should know that he has a pretty nice army and he can pressure and force Deska to make even more army and less drones.
Yeah, I don't mind this either. He's going to just go ahead and take his third base. Get a couple of Templars out, take his third base while he builds up his army. Once his third base has got a couple of cannons and defended, and his army's, a couple more cycles of units, and I think he's just going to go and push across the map. And I'm honestly worried for Deska. Like, he took a lot of damage from that, so I'm not sure he's going to have enough to hold Tim's next push, especially because he's going to have +1 armor finishing up here very shortly as well.
And Deska is actually going for an take. He does not really have the army to do this, but he's still trying.
Yeah, this feels like a mistake because Tim's going to have bigger army. He knows Tim's got observers out on the map now as well. Looks like he's going to maybe... I thought he was targeting the observer, but he actually wasn't. Yeah, Tim easily pushes that back, and I mean, that's good for Tim. He just traded out a bunch more units of Deskas.
Yeah, and now his base is up. Needs to maybe make some cannons. Oh, also supply blocking Deska here by killing that overlord.
Yeah, looks like Tim's got his base up and running now. A few probes there, cannon finishing up. So he says, this is go time. I'm going to move across the map. I don't think you have what you need. There's not really very many zealots with this army, but he does have some reinforcing coming in behind. So by the time he's ready to push up here, he should have a few more zealots joining the battle. There is a group of Hydras and some Lurkers behind, but I don't think it's going to be enough. A couple of good storms is going to be able to do a lot of damage here for Tim.
Yeah, and there are enough storms, like 3 storms here, and he just has the army anyways.
A couple of High Templar maybe running into the Hydras, but it's still not enough. He's going to lose that third base that he had. Deska's still on 3 bases, but Tim's also on 3 bases, and this army's going to be hard to stop. I don't think he can stop it with 1 Lurker, 1 Sunken, and a handful of Hydras. I think Tim's got it. I think he's forcing a game 3 here.
Yes, looks like that's the case here. Maybe Deska can barely defend this. The Lurker's not targeted. Okay, now it is. But yeah, game is over. Even if he defends this, there's no coming back from this damage.
Yeah, like look at the supply. He's supply blocked, and he's half the supply of Tim as well. So Tim killing enough units that he's no longer supply blocked, but it's not going to matter because he's getting in here. He's going to be able to pick off the hive. There's a bunch of zealots just out front of Tim's base that he could send as well to reinforce this. I think an observer was picked off, but there is still one here alive, and there's not even any lurkers to be seen anyway to help defend. Does pick off another Templar, not quite, never mind. It's a while before it's going to have Storm anyway.
Okay. Game 3 is coming.
Yeah, Tim forcing a game 3 here. Very do or die time.
We have some comment in this chat here that fast lurker is rubbish. I mean, Deska definitely doesn't think that way because he's pretty much doing it every single game. And he has won some games.
Does he do it in ZVZ? That's the real question. 2 Ash Lurkers ZVZ.
Okay, final game of the stream here is coming. The map is Sylphid. We are 1-1 between Deska and Tim in the final match of this Group A.
That's right. Do or die time. Second player to advance to the round of 8. Who will it be?
Okay, and here we go. The game is ready. In the 12th o'clock position of Sylphid, we have our Zurich Deska.
Right, and in the bottom left, the red Protoss Tim. All right, Sylphid, pretty good map, I would say, for either player, either race. Fitting map, probably, to end the best of 3 on. No real like big advantage or disadvantage to either side, I would say, on this map. So,
no.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I'm guessing lurkers from Deska. What does Tim go for? Probably the Gateway expand again. Looks like probably.
Yes, Overlord of Deska scouting in the correct direction, so he will see this as soon as possible.
I imagine we'll have Tim check to see that Overlord and find it and know exactly where Deska is as well.
And we have a 9 pool for Deska, so once again he's going for the early Zerglings that he did so many times.
And yeah, Tim does see that Overlord, knowing exactly where his opponent is, so he will see that this is an early pool and probably keep his Zealots at home. Probably get that foraging cannon up before his Nexus, just not wanting to die to early lings and be safe and take this to a macro again.
Yeah, okay. Both players with all the knowledge they need. So the question is again, what will Deska do with the gas? Will he go for Zergling speed or will he go straight to lair? I think against Protoss he's favoring the Zergling speed to kill off the probe before he really goes into any other tech.
Yeah, really wanting to deny the scouting. Tim will see that the 6 lings on the way. And yeah, we do have that forge coming down for Tim. a couple of zealots as well. So he's just going to block this choke up, even bringing an extra couple of probes here. Really just wanting to be safe and not take any damage from these things.
Okay, yeah, he's getting the cannon now. The 4 Zerglings will probably not do a lot here. The gaps are blocked. I mean, this bottom probe could be picked off maybe, but the second zealot is already coming.
So could have maybe gotten in there. He's going to just try hammer away at this gate or forage here a little bit, but cannon is just about finished, and once that finishes up, the aggression is pretty much done.
Yep. And we see the lair here. Fast lair by Deska.
Once again, he definitely favors his fast lairs in both of these matchups. I guess he would get fast lair in ZVZ too, but probably not for lurkers.
Probably not, yeah. So we have not seen him open with Mutalisk before, so it was always the lurkers. The Hydrodist then should come up very soon if he wants to start the lurker upgrade as soon as possible when the lair finishes.
Yeah, I expect to see a drone being pulled out here and starting a lurk or a Hydra Den any second here. Okay, there it is. And yep, there we go. Hydra Den, so 2 hatch. Lurker seems to be the play once more. I don't think we've seen him really go for drops yet in ZVP, like the early lurker drops. He just seems to favor the fast lurkers into busting down the wall rather than lurker drops in ZVP, whereas, ZVT he did go for the drops. But in saying that, it looks like he actually may have just started drop.
Yes, it didn't work against Dark, and it also didn't work. I think it was even twice against Dark. It did not work. And it also didn't work the last game here against Tim. So this time he's actually switching it up slightly. Still going lurkers, of course, but yeah, this time, as you say, going for the drops. There's one overlord in place at the natural. And there's also one overlord moving into position to drop some lurkers into the back of Tim's base here.
Yeah, now the question is, will Tim sniff this out in time? He's already played like 2 games, and I'm sure he sees now that this guy is pretty aggressive. But last game he went for lurkers, even though Tim scouted it, he just went to bust the wall. So if Tim gets in the base and sees, oh, okay, this is lurker again, he may not be expecting the drop to come in. That said, he does have the Stargate already on the way, about halfway finished. So if he does see that this is 2 hatch lurker, he should be looking around his base, even if he doesn't think it's drops. Look around your base for any overlords that are close to try and pick them off, just in the case that it is drops. So he does see that first Hydralisk. I imagine we'll see him actually throw down a couple of cannons here just to be safe. And yeah, there's one more coming down. Looks like he's just about to throw down another one.
He saw that one drone that could mean for him that those were just some Hydras to kill the gateway or the forge in front, or maybe to save his overlords from a Corsair or so. So not 100% sure that he knows what's up, but he probably should. Actually, he's only getting cannons in the front.
Well, he does scout this lurker out here, being morphed. And Deska's actually just going to cancel that and pull that back. Bit unfortunate there for him, but now Tim should know what's up, and he's actually starting to scout for overlords here with this Corsair. He's looking around his natural base, but he hasn't found the one at the 4th base yet. So if he doesn't find this overlord and a couple of lurkers get in, that could be deadly. But it looks like he will find this. So Tim doing his due diligence and making sure there's no overlords or killing any overlords that are near his base before any lurkers get dropped in.
Yeah, so in this case, Deska has to do the same that he did earlier against Dark. So just 2 lurkers, or against him as well. Just some lurkers shooting at the wall here from outside. But this time he's actually in a worse position because he also spent the money on drops that he couldn't use.
Exactly, and Tim already killed, got an overlord kill as well. Not sure if he's going to be able to get a second one. These are a couple Hydras here. He should be able to push that away. But even still, he sees another lurker there. He sees a couple of Hydras, so He's got 4 cannons. He's already got his robo down, and observatory is coming up now, so he's going to have observers out fairly soon and be able to push this back. He cut actually a lot of units to get this out really quickly. Or maybe just a few units there, so it's at the top.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the observer but almost no units, it's still hard sometimes. But yeah, I think he overall, with the units from outside, he has enough. He had to cancel his +1 because the lurkers were killing the forge, so no upgrades for Tim here.
Yeah. He actually skipped going for the Citadel and Templar archives in favor of these faster observers. But he's also got Dragoon range just about to finish up, so he wants to... I think he's going to just probably... The plan is to get his observers and power up on like a bunch of goons here. Kind of like what you were saying with the 6-gate goon thing. Looks like he's going to be doing something similar to that, actually.
Yeah, he's not fully committing. He's still getting his Citadel, and he only has 3 fast gateways in the main. But it's definitely a very nice thing that he did here for pushing those lurkers back, getting out on the map, pressuring the Zerg a little bit, even if he can't really run in here because he doesn't have Storm or doesn't have the Zealot speed. He can still make the Zerg scared and make him produce more fighting units instead of drones.
Looks like Tim's going to go up to a bunch of gateways here. 6 gateways. Okay, there's the 6th gateway. And he's producing a lot of Dragoons, so he is going to have a potentially very strong, scary army. Hard for Deska to stop here. Like, he's not going to have Zealot leg speed for a little while still. But he is going to have a decent number of Dragoons here, and he's going to be able to kill these lurkers and maybe push back and kill a base here.
Oh, the observer so close to being dead, but there's a second one. Yeah, but I don't think he can quite push into this narrow position without Storm.
Yeah. Even if he can't kill the base yet, he's just forcing Deska to defend these positions and forcing him to make units rather than continuing to drone up by staying at home. Looks like we still have a bunch of Dragoons being produced, maybe a couple more Zealots being mixed in here. Once Zealot leg speed is done as well, he may have another little bit of a timing where he can try and bust a position. And going towards the natural, there's actually not a lot here. He's throwing down a couple of panic sunkens, but there's no units in at the moment. Okay, a few lurkers just finishing right in time here.
I'm not sure if I like this, to be honest. He could lose his whole army here. At this point, Deska has a few units. If he uses units in the natural, I think he can maybe defend this and kill Tim's army.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the micro goes. Tim's got a couple of Dragoons kind of out of place too on the outside of this base, but he is killing some drones if nothing else. Maybe he can still do this and break through these lurkers. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, overall I think he killed enough to make this attack worth it, but I mean, it was defended in the end. The big difference I see between Tim and Dark, Dark would definitely have his third base up by now. He would have the Nexus completed, cannons up, and mining the third base while doing such an attack. But Tim, he did not do that. Only after the attack stopped, he is starting his natural and the cannons are not up. So if Deska would see this, he could deny it now because he's not under pressure at this moment.
Yep. We still haven't had any Templars out either. Okay, as soon as I said that, the first Templar pops out. Storm is only just beginning to be researched, so it'll be a little bit before he has Storm, so he's going to have to be a little careful still. Deska's actually checking for a third base for Tim here, thinking that maybe he's going to take this kind of pseudo-high ground third base. But as we can tell, he just took the more mineral and gas-rich high ground base closer to the Zerg. And he's still just checking around, seeing if there's anything of Protoss around. Probably feeling maybe a little bit more comfortable thinking Tim's still on 2 base here. But as we can tell, his third base is just about to finish up, and then he's really going to start having a great economy going. He's got Templars now. Storm is just about to finish up. So this could be very scary for Deska, actually.
Yes. Yeah, there are only 2 lurkers here. There are not any other lurkers to be seen, and I think he cannot defend this. I think that's it.
Yeah, there's no Templars here, so maybe, but his whole army is kind of out of position here to hold off this advance from Tim. There is a Templar slowly coming towards the fight. He does have enough for a storm, but even still, I don't know if he's got enough. One good storm here will really do a lot of damage. Not using it just yet. Okay. Well, he does manage to push Tim back for now.
Yeah, just barely defending these attacks. Oh, nice storm, however. I'm not sure. I mean, yes, Deska defends again, but he has to build Sunkens the whole time. He has to build units the whole time. He's just not getting the economy to combat a Protoss on 3 bases.
Yeah,
If
Tim's
he
doing
only
a good job.
defends, it's not enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right? Tim's doing a good job continuing to pressure Zerg and not letting him really build up the economy he needs. He's just forcing Zerg, like you said, to defend it. And you can see that in the worker count, right? Like 28 to 46, that's not where Zerg wants to be. They need a lot more drones. He would really like a lot more drones. And then a couple more hatches to kind of compete with where Tim's at the moment. So yes, he's defending, but at what cost, right? It's slowing the Zerg down too much that eventually Tim's just gonna have to be able to break through Zerg at some spot, and maybe this is it here. We'll see how this attack goes.
It looks like maybe Tim is not actually committing. Okay, it looks like he is. No storms. Okay, there it is. Well,
yeah, a little bit dicey.
Yeah, Tim not attacking in the best angle here, I think. One interesting thing I see is the Maelstrom upgrade for Tim. Is that something he usually does, or is that something he thinks is fun because he's far ahead? So that's what I'm asking here. He's getting the Dark Archon now.
Yeah, I
Not
wonder
usually
if
what you
he's.
see.
Yeah, I mean, is he maybe concerned about a Mutalisk switch too or something? Of course, we can see there's no Spire, but he doesn't necessarily know that. And he doesn't have like Corsairs out on the map, so maybe he's worried or thinking that could be a potential Muta switch. Or maybe, like you said, he just wants to Maelstrom a bunch of stuff and storm it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he has a lot of Goon, he has an Archon. I'm not sure if he's really worried about the Mutalisk switch, but we'll see. He has still a very strong army. He has a lot of Storm. He has 3 Observers as well, so it looks like we're seeing the next attack killing Deska every time, but Deska barely defends every time, but I just can't see him holding this one.
Yeah. The problem is every time he's defending, he's just getting put a little bit further behind. And now we can even see Tim's getting up a 4th base here, whereas Zerg's still on 3 bases. So even still, like Tim will be up a base. Dark Archon in here. Will we see the Maelstrom? Oh, it gets picked off before he can even get to use it.
Yeah, he didn't have the energy. He moved in too early.
Bit unfortunate for him. Observer goes down, but there's still 2 more here. And with this base is going to fall down. And with this base, I think Deska's hopes of advancing to the round of 8 are going to fall down as well.
Yeah, some nice storms. I mean, there are still 3 lurkers and 2 sunkens, but yeah, another nice storm. And this time, Deska will not barely defend this one. He will actually lose this base, I think.
Yeah. He's still fighting hard. I mean, he knows this is do or die time, right? He's like, I can't lose this, but realizing he's finally there's no hope, he just leaves the game, and Tim does take this game and get to advance into the round of 8. So congratulations to Tim.
Congratulations. Okay, so
Our 500 APM Zerg has been eliminated.
that shows you APM is not that important. Okay, let's take a small look at the group here to wrap it up. Here we go. So we saw Dark defeating Tim, advancing to the winners match. We saw actually Deska defeating Phoebus, also advancing to the winners match. Dark against Deska in the winners match. Dark was able to pull through there and qualify for the round of 8 in first place here. And then Phoebus just leaving and not playing his losers match games, gets eliminated, and Tim advances from the losers match into the final match against Deska, and that's what we just saw with Tim pulling through and taking it. So that makes it Dark advancing in first place, Tim advancing in second place, and of course Deska and Thebes being out in rank 3 and 4.
Yep. Well, pretty good games today. A lot of fun. I believe there will be another group. I think it's Group C that's going to be casted in a couple of days on a Verrev channel, a Ver's channel. Maybe you can confirm.
Exactly. So this is this group down here: Jayoon, Darkish, Lancerex, and Julia. If you want to see some PvZ action, definitely tune in on Thursday on Veer's channel. I will check the time as well. So it will be 8:30 p.m. CET. 8:30 on Thursday on Veer's channel, Revolution Veer. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed the games in this group. You will, of course, also see Snipe and myself casting again on this channel on the next Tuesday. That will be either Group B or Group D, I assume. So, yeah, if you enjoyed the cast, I would be happy if you leave a follow and tune in next Tuesday. And yeah, hope I see you again. Okay, I think with that we will wrap up the cast here. I want to mention one last thing here in my own for my own advertisement here. On my YouTube channel, I'm also uploading my own games of the BSL 11 Gosuleague. So sadly, I did not qualify for this league for this season's Gosuleague here, but I'm playing in the Gosuleague and I'm uploading my first-person VODs to my YouTube channel. So if you put in !YouTube in the chat, you will find my YouTube channel there, and yeah, you will see my Gosuleague games. So if you want to check that out, that would be nice, and leave me a comment, and I hope you enjoy the games. Okay, is there anything left from you, Snipe? Anything left to say?
Well, I think we got it all covered. Glad to join you as always, and hope everyone enjoyed the cast, and look forward to some more great games next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well, and I'm looking forward to see you guys again on Thursday on Veer's channel or next Tuesday on this channel, of course. And with that, thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day, and bye-bye.